Orioles on Masson on another perfect day for baseball in Sarasota, Florida. We're at Ed Smith Stadium, the spring home of your Baltimore Orioles. And today the Birds welcome in the defending AL East champion, Boston Red Sox. And hi, everybody. I'm Jim Hunter with Mike Bordick. Thanks so much for joining us. And Mike, hard to believe, but after today's game, the Orioles will have played a third of their spring training schedule. 22 games follow today, following the team day off tomorrow. And if you look at it, the opportunities are there for players trying to make the team, but they got to take advantage because cuts are coming and time is going to get reduced.
Yeah, you better get it done right now. There are a few spots remaining, one starter spot, 3 in the bullpen. I'll tell you, we're looking at Gabriel Anoa today, and he's one of these guys fighting for a spot. Mike Wright, a couple of the Rule 5 guys, Cortez and Araujo, they're fighting for spots as well, and there's still free agents out there, Helix and Cobb, that the Orioles could be looking at. But this is a great opportunity for a lot of young arms.
You know, and if you look at the makeup of the roster in camp, that AAA team's going to be pretty good because there are very few spots available. 1 starting spot, 3 in the bullpen, a couple of bench spots, and that's it. Every other spot is taken.
Exactly. You know, Buck Showalter and Dan Duquette, every offseason they talk about the depth needed. They might not be able to go out and get that marquee first-round pick, you know, the top free agent pitcher, but they're going to have the depth because they know that's going to be a revolving door potentially with injuries or young guys that don't pan out. So last few years, that's what we've seen, and it doesn't look like they're going to change their philosophy at all.
So today, as Mike pointed out, it is Gabriel Anoa's turn. He's going to look to impress. We're coming back to Sarasota. Lineups at first pitch are next.
Hi, my name is
Beyond the stadium, discover the sophisticated ambiance of Lido Key in Sarasota on Florida's Gulf Coast. Learn more at visitsarasota.com. It is another Chamber of Commerce afternoon here. 72, the temperature will rise as the game commences because there is not one cloud in the sky. The humidity quite low. Just beautiful sunshine here at Ed Smith Stadium. So the Red Sox come to town. They made the ride up from Fort Myers. Mookie Betts will lead off. Andrew Benintendi in the number 2 spot played very well head-to-head against the Orioles last year. Devers, Bradley, and Swihart with Vasquez catching, then Travis, DeJesus, and Morel.
Now let's take a quick look here at Gabriel Ynoa's scouting report. He is fighting for a spot for sure, like we talked about in the open. That 5th spot's open. 3 spots in the bullpen. Ynoa, he could be the long man out of the pen as well. He's got to stay aggressive though. Right now, only a couple pitches. The fastball, he could throw in the low to mid 90s. Power slider. He's got to stay aggressive in the zone. Let his defense go to work. One thing he has been working on this spring though is expanding that repertoire. I'd like to see him with a better changeup, maybe even the curveball mixed in there. If he wants to be a starter, I think that 5th spot. See the numbers on the year last year for the Orioles. Got a couple wins, 4.15 earned run average. They have 26 punch-outs, only the 8 walks. His numbers at the major league level much better. He was sent down to the minor leagues and struggled a little bit down there. So Buck Showalter hoping that the numbers in the big leagues stay. You see the splits here. Opponents hitting 289 off of Noah. And give up only the 5 home runs on the year. Noah's got to step up. A few guys that we mentioned, Mike Wright, one of the big arms, Hester Cortez, Pedro Araujo, a couple of Rule 5 picks fighting for the 5th spot. How about Hunter Harvey being a sleeper with a possible 5th spot in the rotation as well? And we all know Miguel Castro is a great bridge man out of the bullpen, but he's fighting for the 5th spot as well.
Well, Buck Showalter has Ynoa on the mound today, and he is one of the players in camp, Mike, that is out of options. So he has to make this team or try to get him through waivers to outright him to AAA. And with everybody looking for pitching constantly, the odds are he probably wouldn't get through waivers.
You know, you got that right. He's got a good arm, mid-90 fastball. Came over from the Mets. The Orioles pretty lucky to be able to get him as the Mets let him go. But like we talked about, it's all about proving yourself on a daily basis. He's got to come out here and show his stuff again.
Mookie Betts leading off. The Red Sox brought a very representative lineup here today from Fort Myers, and we concluded that the reason for that is they are doing television back to Boston.
There you go.
So they have several of their regulars, including Mookie Betts, who is their everyday right fielder, 25 years old. Ooh, real good breaking ball there, 1 and 2.
Yeah, Betts, of course, a great young player. Alex Cora, the new manager for the Boston Red Sox. One of the younger managers. Seems like a common trend nowadays. Young managers getting into the big leagues. Only 42 years old.
14 years as a big league player. Betts lays off. It's upstairs. So 2-2 the count. Ynoa has not pitched since last Sunday. And ironically, it was in Fort Myers against the Red Sox. So he's seen them for a second time. And he got him. Real good breaking pitch. Comes off speed and gets Mookie Betts 1 away.
Yeah, perfect location right there, down and away. A little bit of a bend on the end. Keep it away from the bat head. Betts swinging over the top. Betts actually still looking for his first hit of spring training. When Ynoa pulls the string just enough to get Betts out in front.
Ynoa's 24 years old. He's had parts of 2 seasons. One with the Mets and last year with the O's. Andrew Benintendi, who finished 2nd in the Rookie of the Year voting last year. And he'll take a strike. There's Aaron Judge of the Yankees won that award. Trey Mancini of the O's finished 3rd. And there's the ever-present breeze in Sarasota, this time blowing out towards right center field.
Yeah, always a test down here in spring training. And sometimes it's hard to get a good read on both pitching and offensive players, but it is test defensively. Balls get up in the air. You never give up on the baseball.
So Ynoa gets ahead of another hitter, 1 and 2 the count. Last year, Ynoa 9 games with the Orioles. He made 4 starts and won twice. And 2 of those appearances were just outstanding. And if he can bottle that, he'll make this staff as he gets Benintendi. So back-to-back Ks and 2 down.
Now he's been looking for the big out pitch, and right now it's a slider. A little cut on this one, not a big dip, and left it up in the zone, but Benintendi getting a little bit big on there, and the ball never came down into the strike zone. Stays at the top. Back-to-back Ks.
In his brief major league appearances, as Rafael Devers comes up, Ynoa has averaged about 7 strikeouts per 9 innings.
He's got a nice arm. He really does. Good live fastball. There's another good slider with a little bit better tilt at the bottom of the zone.
And you like Caleb Joseph noticing that that's a real good pitch early on, and he keeps going back to it. That ball's hit to the gap, and that's going to be a tweener. Rasmus will run it down. And Devers flying to second base, and he'll pull up with a stand-up double with 2 down.
And take a look at the O's defense as Devers powers a double into the right center gap. Mancini, Jones, and Rickard from the outfield here at Ed Smith Stadium. Machado and Scope Turner, two up the middle. Beckham and Trumbo on the corners this afternoon, and Caleb Joseph behind the plate.
Jackie Bradley comes up. Now 27 years old. Of course, he had the brilliant year a couple of years ago, All-Star season in 2016. And his name came up quite a bit in the offseason, as Devers will lead from second base in trade speculation, because the Red Sox, they knew they were going to go after J.D. Martinez, and they eventually got that done. And they had a surplus of outfielders, so they did listen, but no trade. And so Jackie Bradley will continue to patrol center field for the BOS Sox.
I'm sure they're not too disappointed about that. Bradley Jr., one of the better defensive center fielders in all of baseball. You see Noah with the good movement on his fastball. Nice life, mid-90s with the heater. At times, though, it stays a little flat in the zone. He'd like to get a little tilt, make it sink a little bit more, and kind of up that ground ball rate. The pitch Devers hit was a flat fastball.
That comes in at the knees, 2-1. Last Sunday in Fort Myers, he went 2 innings against Boston, allowed 1 run on 2 hits, but he did strike out 4. So with all the pitchers in camp, a week goes by in between outings for Inoa, and this is down and in, so it's 3-1.
Well, it's so hard to find opportunities for guys to get out on the bump with so many pitchers in camp, and I know Buck Showalter's been talking about thinning the arms out a little bit. So as you talked about, every chance a pitcher gets to take the hill is an opportunity to open some eyes.
So after back-to-back Ks, a double, now a walk, and Boston puts 2 on with 2 down. Well, the Orioles made their first roster cuts following yesterday's game in Clearwater, as Eric Salcedo and Garibas Rosa were sent to the minor league camp, along with lefty Chris Lee, who at the moment has an oblique strain. So he will rehab that at the minor league camp. And as Mike alluded to, Buck Showalter said more cuts will be coming because they need to stretch out the players that they know will be with the Orioles. And there's a swing and a miss by Swihart. So Inoa very much in that mix. Signed with the Mets when he was 16 years old, and the Orioles picked him up last February. Devers and Bradley second and first with 2 men down. And that ball's going to get down for a base hit, and the Sox are going to get an early lead. Adam Jones runs it down, being sent all the way around from first as Bradley, and Scope will not throw it back to the plate. So here's a 2-out rally, and there's a 2-out 2-run double for Swihart, and the BOS Sox take the lead.
Well, after a couple quick strikeouts by Inoa, Devers gets the double, and then that base on balls. And base on balls always come back to hurt you. The slider stays up in the zone. Actually, on that inner third, it's a happy spot for a left-handed hitter, and he powers it into the gap. Gets a couple stakes out there. Adam Jones, nice job cutting it off and getting it back in, but before some damage done. 2 early runs for the Red Sox.
Here's Christian Vasquez, 27-year-old catcher. RBI opportunity. I don't know if this is up and in.
Vasquez, a good young catcher. Swihart, also a catcher, but more versatile. Can play some other positions as well. Have some depth in the catching spot.
Well, the 20th pitch here in the first inning for Inoa finds the strike zone. Well, they also have Sandy Leon, who they run out there quite a bit.
Yeah, Vasquez, Leon, they'll get the catching duty. Swihart might potentially make the club as a utility player, but well, you talk about a team with some depth. They've got some pitching. They've also got stockpile now. They got J.D. Martinez at first baseman and utility players. Moreland will probably be the first baseman, but how about Hanley Ramirez? He's one of the extra men.
So Noah trying to get out of this. 1-2 on Vasquez. Off the glove, deflects towards Scope, and Jonathan will not have a play, but Noah able to keep it in the infield by getting his glove on it. So 3 hits now in the inning, and first and third with 2 down. Well, here are the probable starters for the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah, you talked about Vasquez, of course, that catcher. Mitch Moreland Had a pretty strong year offensively. Actually led the league in doubles for about half the season. Like to see some more power there. But Pedroia, the veteran at second base, Bogarts, Devers, the young third baseman, Benintendi had a solid year. Obviously last season, Bradley Jr. there, Betts, and J.D. Martinez brought in obviously for the power. The Red Sox missed a lot of the power that David Ortiz took with him when he retired. So trying to bolster the offense a little bit by landing J.D. Martinez.
There's Sam Travis playing at first base, and he'll take ball one. Travis, a rookie, second-round pick in 2014. He has Swihart at third and Vasquez at first with 2 down. One and one on the foul ball.
Good life on that fastball, boring in hard on the hands. That good movement, working both sides of the plate. But at times it'll stay in the middle, and that slider will get a little flat as well. And for as good as the slider looked, the first 2 hitters, it's been getting hit around a little bit. Staying up on the plate, got to finish it down below the knees.
That one rode in on him, and he got a piece.
Buck Showalter looking on intently. Many times it's not how you get your outs, but how you respond to tough times within an inning. A couple quick outs here and then a couple runs on the board. How's he Noah going to get himself out of it?
Scope to his left will gobble this one up. He'll get Travis at first, and that'll end it. So a 2-out rally. Boston settles for 2. We head to the bottom of the first. Boston 2, and here come the Birds. Enjoying a snack as they watch baseball in this beautiful sunshine. Here's the O's lineup. Beckham, Scope, and Manny Machado in the number 3 spot. 6 home runs, 13 ribbies against Boston last year. Jones, Mancini, and Trumbo. Danny Valencia making his spring debut, just signed yesterday. Joey Rickard and Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, let's take a look at the scouting report for Jalen Beeks. Yeah, he is knocking on the door. This young man, pitcher of the year last year, AA and AAA. Not a big guy, only 5'11", so relies on a lot of deception. And it is his delivery. It's a stiff front side. He stabs his arm in the back. It's going to be fun to watch in this ball game. See the numbers on the year. 11 wins combined in AA and AAA with that 3.29 earned run average. 155 punch-outs.
And he'll get ahead of Beckham. Tim has 1 home run on the spring. The Orioles as a club have hit 14. Machado and Mancini in the lineup today each have 2. And that leads the club. Yeah, Jalen Beeks, interesting draft pick. He was college teammates at the University of Arkansas with Andrew Benintendi, who's the everyday left fielder for the Red Sox. Beeks was drafted in 2014, and then Benintendi the following year. And Beeks, as he was pitching in Arkansas his first 2 years, it looked like he would be a top of the draft pick first 2, 3, 4 rounds, and he lasted until the 12th round because he injured his elbow as a junior at Arkansas. But the Red Sox are hoping that now that he's healthy, and as Mike pointed out, coming through the minor leagues very, very well, that he'll be able to help this team sometime this year.
Yeah, they're thinking maybe his arm might play up a little better in a reliever type role. His fastball right now, you see 89, 90 miles an hour. But he does have a few pitches to go along with it. A good changeup, curveball. He's got a little cutter that he's replaced for a slider. Slider wasn't too good, so decided to cut his fastball a little bit. But when you look at his delivery, that's really what kind of separates him a little bit. The ball gets on the hitters. They just can't pick it up until late.
Center field, Bradley is there, and he's got it for the out. So Jalen Beeks wins that battle.
Bradley Jr. out in center field. Let's take a look at the rest of the Red Sox defense. Benintendi and Betts will join him. DeJesus Jr. playing shortstop with Marrero over at second base. Devers and Travis on the corners, and Vasquez doing the catching this afternoon.
And here is Jonathan Scope, who's probably disappointed his buddy Xander Bogaerts didn't make the trip.
Plenty of time to catch up during the season. 19 times play each other.
Jonathan now in his 5th full season with the Orioles, following his September call-up when he first burst on the scene. And they handed him uniform number 6, which told everybody they thought he was going to make it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, a monster year for Scope last year offensively. Very solid glove man. Turns one of the best double plays in the business. And he's not one of those sand flea second baseman prototypical guys that you remember a few years ago. He's like a linebacker. 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", 240. Go ahead, try to take me out at second base.
And a good take for ball 3. Well, he had 32 home runs last year, which is a career high. And if you look in the major leagues, all of Major League Baseball last year, only 28 players hit as many as 32 home runs. And Jonathan was one of them. Swings through it there. And he did that last year at age 25. So if he continues to progress with the experience, who knows what he'll do this year.
Yeah, pretty impressive. He's always been a talented young man.
Strike 3 called. He painted the outside corner. So 2 down.
And Jonathan may be looking for something else here. Let's take a look. The stab in the back, and then all of a sudden a quick arm coming through the zone, and that fastball getting on and by Jonathan Scope there, just dotted down and away.
Will Little has the plate. It seems that he's on the crew every game the Orioles play here at Ed Smith. So is Bill Welke and Chad Fairchild. They're on the crew today. And here is Manny Machado, who is having some kind of BP today. And he's having some kind of a spring so far.
Oh, he sure is. I'll tell you what, Manny has been impressive. See his spring training batting average, 8 for 13, a couple home runs, hit a home run a couple days ago that got out in a half a second. Manny showing great poise this spring as far as taking his batting practice. I didn't watch him today. I'm sure he was hitting a lot of home runs, but he's been very consistent with driving the ball to right center in his BP, not trying to get too big or ahead of himself. In batting practice, really has had good focus on both sides of the ball, swinging the bat and taking his ground ball work out at shortstop. It's been a good spring for Manny.
Gets ahead 3-1. Well, he's making the transition back to shortstop. That's his natural position. He has played 52 games in the big leagues as a shortstop. And he'll draw a 2-out walk and get on. 715 games as a third baseman. We'll see if the Orioles can start a 2-out rally as Boston did.
Well, Manny showing some good patience. One thing that the Orioles would like to see more of. Just higher on base percentage. So these home runs that we talk about, Scope pounding out 32, Manny 33 last year. Adam Jones, what's he got, 6 or 7 straight years of 25 or more home runs. So there's a lot of power on this team. It's just a matter of getting those opportunities to drive them in. A few more walks would certainly help that cause.
Adam Jones with a man on at first. He takes up and in. Adam in his 11th season with the Orioles. And that one right there, and he takes all the way, 1-1.
And Adam once again surrounded by a cast of outfielders. Man, can they bring him in here? A lot of players fighting for another outfield spot as well, but Adam Jones, the mainstay. You mentioned most tenured Oriole, 11 years under his belt now in the O's uni.
Nice block there by Vasquez on the 20th pitch, thrown by Jalen Beeks.
And a good take by Adam. He kept his hands back there, recognized the baseball before any commitment to a swing, kept his body tall, trusted his eyes. Nice take right there.
Playing pretty much straight away, although Marrero shading up the middle. 3-1. So each pitcher, after retiring the first two rather easily, runs into trouble. The third batter reaching, and now he's 3-1 on Adam Jones. Jalen Beeks is from Prairie Grove, Arkansas. Machado at first with 2 down. Rather towards the hole. And deflected by the third baseman Devers, and everyone's going to reach. It'll be a base hit off the glove for Adam Jones.
Adam catching a little break right here with the shifted infield over. I think that hole's filled up, but off the glove of Devers. Manny was checking third base. Red Sox defense wisely hustling over there to cover it up. The inning continues. This is the kind of stuff the Orioles like to see. Give them extra opportunities. Get boom boom up there. And this is the Oriole way right now. Finding ways to get the big bats up there and maybe pop one out, get right back into the game.
Well, here's the big bat, Trey Mancini. Already has a couple of home runs this spring.
Trey's one of these pros that will never disappoint. Always working hard, always trying to make himself better. He's taken left field in his work habits and become a really strong defender out there. Last year was a huge year for him, but offensively, there's no let up. Great plate coverage, incredible power to all fields.
He won the Eastern League batting title while at Bowie in 2015. Batted .359 for the Bay Sox that year after he was promoted. Whoop. Manny's hung up. Vasquez stalled on the throw, and Manny gets back. If he threw right away, he got him. That's a break for the Orioles.
Manny with the long secondary lead, and then he thought the ball might have gotten away from Vasquez. Gets hung out to dry a little bit, but hustles on back in there. Catches a break, giving Mancini another chance.
1-2 on Mancini. That ball's popped up. Marrero, the second baseman, calls, and Jalen Beeks gets out of it. A walk, a hit, 2 left. We head to the second, and time for a hot dog at the stadium.
For the best deals on
Well, catching on, how will this shake out as camp continues? We all expect Caleb Joseph will be the everyday catcher. Andrew Susac, Chance Sisco, and Austin Wynns in camp have an opportunity to win that backup job. Now, Susac has 4 partial seasons. Of course, Sisco September call-up. But Austin Wynns, Mike, all of his experience in the minor leagues last year, he was a very well-regarded catcher at AA Bowie. In fact, he was 3rd, was Wynns, in the Eastern League in gunning down potential base stealers.
Oh, yeah.
So he brings the defensive ability.
Absolutely. You know, and I think all the catchers have been looking good this spring. Chance Sisco, obviously, we got a chance to see him and his bat, but defensively, Sisco's coming along. He could probably use some seasoning in the minor leagues. Wynns probably as solid as anybody defensively, and he even had a breakthrough offensive year last year in AA Bowie, so he's opened up some eyes, and he might be the front runner right now for the backup spot.
Yeah, there's always the debate. If Sisco's one of your top prospects, and he certainly is, does he benefit from being a backup as opposed to going to AAA where he could play every day? There's a ground ball to third. Beckham knocks it down. Will try to get him, and not in time. If it's stuck in the glove, he may have had a chance, so that'll be an infield hit.
Nice try. Looked like it hit the bag. Oh, Beckham will show you a little of his athleticism right here. Gets the feet moving. The ball kicks up in front of the base, but actually kicks back towards him. Knocks it down. Quick try with the throw. And did everything right as far as recovering. Grabbed the ball with his bare hand. Just a little extra speed right there. Get himself on first base.
So the Jesus is on that bad bounce base hit off the glove, and here's Devin Marrero, the number 9 batter. So Boston already with 4 base hits. And I was talking to Caleb about the position he finds himself in, and he is the veteran, and really he's expected to seize this job and take it. And all the other spring trainings, he came in hoping to get noticed first of all, and then knowing he was going to be the backup. So this is totally different. He's the veteran that these other younger catchers are looking up to.
Right.
Bad throw, but Trumbo able to keep it in fair territory, so no advancement.
A little members kick, I think, right there. Kicked over to Jonathan Scope. Let's take a look. Quick snap throw. Kicks off the heel of De Jesus. And bounces over to Jonathan Scope. Lucky break right there for Gano and the O's. That one would have headed down towards the tarp down the right field line.
You know, the other aspect of Caleb, I mean, he spent 8 seasons in the minor leagues, 4 of those at Bowie. And Austin Wynns, very similar career path as the runner goes, and that ball's hit to the gap. Adam Jones trying to cut it off and can't. That goes all the way to the wall. De Jesus will score easily, and pulling up at second base with a double is Devin Marrero. So a 3-0 Boston lead on a pair of run-producing doubles.
Oh, that ball was hit hard. You know, his fastball staying on that same plane, flat through the zone. Good velocity. When it gets that barrel, boy, does it jump off. And this one beats Adam Jones to the gap. Gets it all the way to the wall. De Jesus able to score all the way from first base. A little hesitation there. He realizes, oh, no chance. As soon as that ball hits the wall, he's able to score easily. Marrero walking into second base. The Red Sox out there hitting shoes on today.
So back-to-back hits to begin the second. Here's Mookie Betts for his second at-bat. Betts struck out his first at-bat, a swinging strike 3. The Red Sox have 56 players in their camp. Considerably less than the Orioles, although the Birds did send 3 out last night. Alex Cora now the skipper. John Farrell was the Red Sox manager for 5 years. He won the division 3 times, finished last twice. All or nothing in the John Farrell.
Right.
And in his first year, he won the World Series. There's that breeze blowing out towards right center field today. Usually blows out towards left field here at Ed Smith. And Alex Cora now in charge. He's the 47th manager in the Red Sox long history.
And Alex Cora played actually with a couple of the Red Sox players. Dustin Pedroia is a teammate of.
He was a Red Sox player from 2005 through 2008. Pitts fouls it off, so Noah back in the count at 3-2.
Pretty good change right there from Noah. 3-1 change up at the bottom of the zone. Almost gets that little rollover, easy out. Go to work here with the 3-2 count.
And the 3-2, there's a comebacker. And Noah looks to second and takes the sure out as Marrero scampers back and one away. The Fans 2018 Birdland ticket memberships are now on sale. Just go to Orioles.com and you'll save an average of 15% off the single game ticket prices. Plus, you'll receive exclusive orange carpet benefits, including access to opening day. You get MLB's most flexible exchange policy and early admission to the ballpark. So find the membership that is right for you at Orioles.com. Andrew Benintendi with a runner at second, now one down. That ball is absolutely crushed, and Joey Rickard's going to watch it leave. There's a 2-run home run for Benintendi, and Boston has put 5 on the board in the first 2 innings.
Well, that pitch elevated a little bit to Benintendi. You get it up in this jet stream, and it's going to go a long way. That one did not take much time to get out of here. Another ball squared up. Take a look. We're trying to get ahead with the heater. And this fastball just leaking up and out over. Benintendi getting extended on that one.
His second spring home run. Still only one down. Red Sox already have 5 runs on 6 hits through an inning and a third. Devers got the rally going in the first with a 2-out double. I'm sure there's some pressure on Noah knowing there's a job to be won. That ball's crushed as well, and that ball's going to get out of here. That's into the parking lot outside the Orioles complex. So Devers is 2 for 2, back-to-back home runs, and it's 6-0 Boston.
Another elevated fastball right there. Maybe just trying to overthrow a little bit. Even the heaters up in the zone, and Devers and Benintendi going back-to-back in the high fastball. Caleb wanted it down and in, and it's up and out over. Devers making some loud contact here in the early going of this game.
And for Devers, his first home run. Roger McDowell out for a chat. Some scampering in the Orioles bullpen, but no one getting loose as of yet. So just missing his spots. Bad location, and the Red Sox taking advantage of it.
Right, and that seems to be a common theme, especially nowadays. I'm not talking about just with Oriole pitchers, but fastball command seems to be a lost art. It seems a lot of starters in Major League Baseball. Velocity's kind of taken over, and one of these stronger arms, but just command of the fastball, it's a little erratic. I mean, he's throwing 94, 95 miles an hour, but when it's up and out over, it's pretty easy hit.
Jackie Bradley takes upstairs. Bradley worked a walk with 2 down and scored on the 2-run double by Blake Swihart, who's on deck. Players have said, and Mike Reich alluded to this before he made his first start, the very first game back on February 23rd, that when you're out of options, really there's less pressure, because you feel that if you don't make the team you're on, somebody likely will take you. And it happened last year to Oliver Drake. He was in the same situation, out of options, made the Orioles opening day roster. They tried to outright him, and he ended up in Milwaukee and spent the whole year with the Brewers. There's a chopper to first. Trumbo will charge and take unassisted, 2 down. But you have to produce in order for somebody to watch you if you can't catch on here.
Well, exactly. And if you see kids with a good arm like Noah has, you wonder, is he going to be suited as a starter, or can he maybe that heater play up or a slider play up a little bit more in a bullpen type of role? And I think Noah has that type of flexibility. We talked about at the beginning, maybe expanding his repertoire, coming up with maybe the slow curve ball, just to get him off the power pitches, or hitters off the power pitches, because everything seems to be a little bit hard for Noah. And There isn't really a lot of separation between his velocities, his changeup, and his slider about the same speed. Get a little slower hook in there just to get hitters off balance a little bit. It might help. They are on the fastball.
And that very thing you're describing is why the Orioles like Nestor Cortez so much, because he has that. He throws 89, 90 with the fastball. He throws breaking balls in the 70s.
Right.
I mean, that 20-mile-an-hour difference, that's very tough on the timing.
Yeah, it's all about breaking the rhythm and timing of the hitter.
Bounces in there, so 1-2 the count on Blake Swihart.
I'll say this, and Noah's trying to throw more change-ups here this afternoon, which is a good thing. Play it off his fastball a little bit. But the secondary pitches need to be tightened up for sure.
And another ground ball. Ooh, takes a bad hop. And Trumbo races to the base, and Noah gets out of it. But the Red Sox put 4 on the board. We'll head to the bottom of the second. 6-0 Boston. Second have a 6-0 lead, and we are joined by the Orioles bench coach and catching coach John Russell. And John, Mike and I were talking about the competition in camp. You have 4 pretty good catchers here. Caleb, of course, is the #1, but 3 vying for that backup. What's your impressions of what you've seen in camp from the catchers?
Well, I think Chance Cisco and Austin Wynn have done a nice job so far. They've shown some things that we've heard about, and we got to see Chance a little bit last year in September. And, some of the things we heard about Austin. Andrew Susak's just now coming back. He had a little bit of infection that cost him a little bit of time, so he's just now starting to come back and play. So we'll get a little bit more view of him as, the next week or so goes on. But so far, so good. I think they're doing a pretty good job, and it's really staying in tune.
Caleb Joseph was telling us the other day that you have a tremendous ability to get the catchers to listen to what you're trying to get them to do, so you help them. When you see what Caleb has become, and let's not forget, he spent 8 years in the minor leagues before he even got here. When you have success from your teaching, do you think that filters down to the other players?
Well, you like to hope so, yes, but I do. Caleb's a good example, and I use Caleb as an example all the time. I told him my first year here when he was in spring training that I never thought he'd make it to the big leagues. But we made some adjustments with him a few years back and kind of revamped him. Donnie Warner and I, Donnie, our minor league catching coordinator, did a lot of different things with him. We revamped his setup, revamped the way he received, and revamped his throwing, and credit to Caleb, he picked it up really well and ran with it. So, the things we try to do here is teach them how to play at the major league level and what they're going to experience and what they have to do to be a successful catcher at the major league level. And there's certain times in the minor leagues that it's great development or whatever, but it's not the major leagues, and these guys need to realize what it takes to be back behind the plate and try to get a pitching staff through a game.
Danny Valencia back with the Orioles making his debut, and what's that? He rakes against left-handed pitching. There's a double in his first at-bat. Sorry, John. Didn't mean
That's
to
all right.
interrupt.
Yeah, it's typical of Danny hitting left-handed pitching.
Right, no kidding. Hey, John, what's it going to take for, or what are you going to be looking to for the backup catcher? Is he going to be a bat guy, or is he going to be able to handle pitching, or is it just going to be played out as spring training goes?
Well, the number one thing, and I told the catchers the first day, if they can't catch, they're not going to go northwards. So that's the most important thing for our guys is they have to be able to handle themselves behind the plate. If they hit, that's a bonus in our opinion. You know, in mine as a catching instructor. So they've got to do that first and foremost. And these guys realize that. Caleb was a big advocate of that, and you know, it helps me with that voice. And you know, we'll see how it plays out. You know, you got Chance, who's a left-handed bat, which is a compliment because you have a left-handed hitting catcher in him, and then right-handed hitting in Caleb. So you can look at it that way. Austin Wynns is a very capable catcher. So there's different ways we're going to look at it, but I think as spring training plays out, we're going to look for the one that we feel fits us the best, that can come in and do a job and be that backup role for Caleb. And you know, hopefully sometimes that we can get a guy out there for about 3 days a week as opposed to 1 or 2.
Yeah, keep them rested for sure. John, a lot of guys in camp this year. I mean, has it been tough kind of organizing the workouts?
You know, yes and no. I mean, you just got to get them headed in the right direction. It's like the cattle. You got to make sure that the leaders of the pack or the leaders of the herd start going, and you get the rest of them to follow a little bit. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge to, you know, get guys in, especially now with games, to get them innings, to get them at bats. And but the work part of it, you know, our guys did a great job of the coaching staff of getting guys where they needed to go. But there's some challenges when you have a group this big.
Well, John, we appreciate the visit. Enjoy your day off tomorrow. How about that? You get a day off. What are you going to do?
Nothing. I think that's the main thing, is I'm not going to do anything and just enjoy it. I get to go to my son Stone. He has a game tomorrow night, actually, so I get to go watch that, which is going to be cool.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, we appreciate the visit, and good things ahead. We all hope for 2018. Thanks again.
You bet. You bet.
All right, that's John Russell, the Orioles bench coach and catching coach. And Caleb on the radio show the other night went out of his way to tell the audience how instrumental John Russell has been in his development, and he swears by all the drills that they put them through to become better behind the plate.
Well, you know what? It's one thing if you're a player and you hear from your coach, but Caleb has taken everything that John Russell has told him, and he's made himself a major league catcher. John Russell just told us, he said he didn't think he was going to be a major league catcher or had the tools, but he took what was given to him and he worked at it on a daily basis. And now he's the frontline catcher, and Caleb will not hesitate to help some of the younger catchers that are coming up through, and that's just what veteran guys are supposed to do.
2-2 the count on Caleb now, and Caleb also told us that he really can relate to Austin Wynns because Austin has spent 5 seasons in the minor leagues. This is his first big league camp. Caleb, of course, 8 years in the minor leagues, and they kind of have the same track record. So Caleb can go to Austin and say, hey, young man, it took me a long time to get here, so just go out and work, and maybe you'll be the one.
That's it. A lot of times it's attitude. It's just the grind of you know, being a true pro, going out there trying to make yourself better on a daily basis. Austin Wynns has that same type of makeup. He isn't, if he goes out in the minor leagues or even in last year's season, he wasn't upset thinking that he should have been in AAA. He was just going about his business, doing his work, making himself better. Here he is with an opportunity in big league camp, you know, to make them at major league teams. So good things happen if you do things the right way.
That's popped to shallow center field. Bradley in on it as the wind got it a little bit, and he has it for the out. So 1 out, double, a man left. We head to the third. 6-0 Boston. So let me get this straight. You retire, and yet you still go to spring training? Richie Bancells, he can't get enough of this.
That's right.
Give him credit. Of course, Brian Ebel, now the head athletic trainer, invited Richie, and he said, yep, I'll come to help. And here is Pedro Araujo, who is really opening up some eyes.
Oh, he sure is. One of the Rule 5 picks, brought over 45 games last year in Double-A and Single-A. About 6 wins with a 1.76 earned run average, 87 punch-outs in a 66 2/3 innings of work. I'm telling you, he was a monster last year in the minor leagues, averaging almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's opened up some eyes here in spring training. Got a big arm, a real nice changeup, and boy, those spots are to be had. He is a hungry young fella trying to win his spot.
Orioles got him from the Cubs organization in the Rule 5 draft. And the way he is pitching, he is certainly putting himself in position to earn a spot on the opening day roster. Christian Vasquez will lead off. He had an infield hit off the Noah's glove in the first inning. Boston 6 runs on 7 hits off Gabriel. Araujo, 24 years old. He is from the Dominican Republic. He signed with the Cubs back in 2011. 7 minor league seasons. His career minor league ERA 2.63.
Pretty good. Yeah, he led all the Cubs relievers last year in the minor leagues with his strikeout rate. See a natural cut there on his fastball.
He averaged in his 7 minor league seasons 10.4 strikeouts per 9 innings. And if you're a pitcher trying to make a team, you impress by getting outs, and that's what he's done. He's now faced 7 batters in 3 appearances, and he's retired all 7. So the fly ball to Joey Rickard and 1 away. Well, write it down. Kids opening day is Sunday, April 1st. O's and Twins at 1:05 at Camden Yards, and all fans 14 and under will receive a retro Oriole Bird Bank presented by Wise Markets. And throughout the day, young O's fans will enjoy special activities, including the chance to take the field with the team and to be part of a special pregame festivity. Then after the game, it's Kids Run the Bases, also presented by Wise Markets. All your children ages 4 to 14 will have a chance to run the Oriole Park bases. So get your tickets now. Come on out and join us. That's Kids Opening Day, Sunday, April 1st, Orioles.com for your tickets. Ball 1 to Sam Travis. Bounced out to second base to end the first inning. Went too far in the breaking ball. One him on the count. Travis got into 33 games last year. He still has his rookie status intact. Yeah, the Cubs were grooming Araujo as a reliever. He hasn't made a start since he was in the Dominican Summer League in 2014. He's been used exclusively out of the bullpen. Of course, last year he was in the Carolina League at Myrtle Beach, but pitched to an ERA of 1.76.
Oh.
That is stingy. Now, is that a changeup at 87?
That's a change. Yeah, hard changeup. How about this dive bomb action? Just taking off, almost like a split finger. Almost like the Gosman split finger. Dive bombing down and in. That's a good pitch. Caleb calling for it again.
Well, one thing I do know, if Pedro Araujo makes the roster, he'll have to change his number, because number 75 is Millsy's number, the Orioles bullpen coach, and I don't think Allen's going to give it up because he wore that as a player.
That's right.
Usually watching the games from the bench during spring training, and then he'll be in the bullpen on opening day. That ball's a gapper, and it's going to couple of hop to the wall, so Travis to second base with yet another double for the Red Sox. That is their 4th double. They go along with a couple of home runs in this game.
Wow, Oriole outfield getting the running in this afternoon. Not a bad pitch there by Araujo. The fastball down around the knees, and Travis just went down and got himself some. Hammering that one in the left center field gap.
Now the first batter to reach against Araujo. Here's Ivan De Jesus, who at one point was in the Orioles system back in 2014. Played 113 games for AAA at Norfolk that year. Now this would be a spot I would think that Buck Showalter and Roger McDowell would want to see Araujo go through. First time he's allowed a runner, so how do you react?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, young arm, big arm, having some great success. Had great success through the minor leagues with the Cubs. See how he responds to a little adversity.
Breaking ball skied to shallow right center field. There's Joey Rickard. Runner bluffs going but stays, so 2 down.
Pretty good breaking ball there, working off the outside corner at the end of the bat. Good job working the perimeter of the plate right now. Certainly not getting hit hard at all this spring training.
Devin Marrero drove in a run with a double his first at bat. He has had parts of 3 seasons in Boston. Check swing, and he went too far. Bill Welke at first base. The base umpires in spring training, every 3 innings they go to a different base.
Gotta get their work in, right?
Well, and it helps us that this crew pretty much lives here.
Right.
So we get to recognize them by their face. Well, I guess it cuts down on the travel, and I'm sure when the Orioles are playing on the road, they go to other venues here on the west coast of Florida. That's Will Little. He has the plate today, as he has had several times here at Ed Smith Stadium already. 1-1 on Marrero as Pedro Araujo tries to get out of this jam with a runner at second, now with 2 down. Doesn't chase the changeup.
Being careful right now with the runner out in scoring position. He doesn't want to get an earned run tacked on, so working the perimeter with some off-speed pitches. Ball down in the zone. Does have the open base to work with, but let's see him a little more aggressive here.
Popped him up. Long run for Joey Rickard. And he's going to get there, and in fair territory makes the catch. So 3 fly ball outs. Mid-third, 6-0 Boston. The third annual Nashville comes to the ballpark. Brad and Janae Brock with their new daughter. Players came out for the concert the other night, and a fun time was had by all. Every dollar raised this weekend benefits Girls Inc. here in Sarasota and the Music Health Alliance in Nashville, Tennessee. The performers, Lee Thomas Miller, the Warren brothers, Tina Parole, Margaret Valentine, and Brad Brock's wife, Janae Cherry Brock. It was outstanding. Really good time. Then yesterday, a songwriters workshop with several youth from Sarasota here as Janae Brock, Margaret Valentine, and Tina Parole took part in that. And later today, and I want to see if Mike Bordick shows up for this, there's going to be yoga instruction out on one of the back fields. Community Youth Wellness Yoga Workshop with Holistic Life Foundation.
Oh. Well, I don't know if I'm going to show up for that. But I will say this. That songwriting seminar thing or workshop was pretty cool. And I think it's great for kids, you know, because a lot of times kids have a hard time kind of communicating anyway. So why not write their thoughts down? And there are so many artists have really taken off in that regard.
You know, the concert the other night, and just about the entire team was there. It's a charity event, so folks buy tickets, and about $12,000 was raised by simply a live auction and people just giving donations.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just wonderful.
Yeah. Well, Baltimore and, of course, the city of Sarasota have a great relationship going right now, and they have had for a number of years. And it's making things better in both communities.
Well, how about the economic impact that the Chamber of Commerce came out with a couple of weeks ago, that the Orioles generated in 2017 $97 million into the Sarasota community.
That's awesome.
2-2 to Beckham is fouled off. See, the other amazing thing about the concert, the Nashville's Music Row comes to the ballpark. All the performers are songwriters, yet they all sang unbelievably well. You know, here they are. They're writing songs for other artists, for stars, and yet they sing the songs sound just as good to me.
Right.
Most of them country songs, as Beckham chases a high fastball and he strikes out.
Well, the deception coming into play here. This fastball right into the top of the zone, and it just gets on Beckham. Looks good about halfway, but then riding up and out of the zone as Beckham gives chase. Tough to stay on top of that pitch.
Well, Jalen Beeks in command, pitching a third inning here. Bounces in there, so Jonathan Scope, the word is out. Of course, Boston knows him. And there's the shift. 3 on the left side. Sam Travis at first base on the right side. Well, that's a perfectly placed pitch.
Well, talk about change of speeds, breaking hitters' rhythm and timing, and that's the breaking ball that'll do it. A little double take there by Jonathan Scope as it drops in.
There's a base hit for Scope, and Attendee will keep it to a single, so Jonathan's on with a 1-out hit.
Nice piece hit by Jonathan Scope. Now getting off that fastball. This breaking ball slows him down a little bit. Still driving the heater into the gap.
There's Manny, who walked his first at bat. There's a strike. Mike pointed out that there's some scouting reports that project Beeks as either a long man out of the bullpen or a spot starter. And one of the reasons for that is his velocity apparently drops off the deeper he goes in games, and that's a problem. Because when you don't throw overpowering to begin with, if you start losing it, that separation you were talking about disappears.
Right. Everything gets a little closer. Everything looks the same out of the hand. But right now, showing why he's one of the top prospects in the Red Sox system. Moving the ball around a little bit, changing speeds. You can tell that deception really does play up.
His minor league career ERA is 3.78. Last year began at AA Portland and finished at AAA with Pawtucket. And then he takes ball 3. So Machado really seeing the ball well. And it's really early for as zoned in as he is.
Well, it started from day one. He has not let himself get in any bad habits at all. And I think spring training can really hurt players. They come out here trying to hit balls 600 feet in this light air with the wind blowing out. You're going to get in bad habits, and Manny has not let himself do that. He's been consistent with his work in batting practice, and that's what sticks out to me. He's always out in the cage, working on his tee work, his soft toss drills. When it comes out to batting practice, he's all business. Driving the ball to right center field, really working his hands, staying inside the baseball, and finding the barrel of the bat, which I think is the most important thing. And that'll cut down on Manny's strikeouts next year or this year, and just make him a more consistent hitter. He was up and down all last season.
We got a piece of the catcher Vasquez. Well, if he starts using the opposite field more, he might put up MVP type numbers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because then he becomes less predictable as a hitter.
Well, his numbers have gotten better. Even though last year I think was really streaky. He had bad months and he had really solid, consistent months. But for him to be able to put it together, a full package, Manny will be the best right-hander hitter in the game if he can continue to keep that type of focus.
Another 3-2 pitch with Scope on it first, and he walked him. So Manny's drawn a couple of walks, prolonged that at bat with a couple of foul balls. So Jalen Beeks has walked 2, and here comes the skipper Alex Cora out to the mound. Looks like that'll be it for Jalen Beeks. So he goes 2 1/3 and will leave with 2 men on. He got his work in, and the Red Sox will go to the bullpen. So 2 on with 1 out, pitching change in Sarasota.
Hi, my name is Stephen Funn, and this is my wife.
Hi,
Of the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School baseball team to honor the victims of that senseless act of violence and to show support for the Parkland, Florida community. Go online at Orioles.com/auctions and you can bid on these autographed and authenticated game-worn caps. All the proceeds will benefit the Broward Education Foundation. Now the bidding closes tonight 6 p.m. so don't miss out. Orioles.com/auctions. Another beautiful day, and pitcher comes on, Matthew Kent, in relief of Jalen Beeks.
And take a look at Kent's numbers last year in high A, 28 games, had 7 wins with a 4.23 earned run average, 64 innings. So we loaded him up, only 142 punch-outs though. Contact type pitcher, give up the 186 hits. Might be a good opportunity for the Orioles to put a mark on the board here.
He's pitched 1 inning and 1 spring appearance so far for the big club. 2 on, Scope and Machado for Adam Jones, who reached on an infield hit his first at bat. And a strike. Kent out of Texas A&M. He is from Waco, Texas. 25 years old. Ball and a strike on the pitch missing inside. Showalter before the game gave the medical update. Said Chris Davis is feeling better with a sore elbow. The MRI came back clean, no structural damage, so they're relieved about that.
And that was some good news for sure.
Ground ball, base hit down the line, past the dive of Devers. Jonathan Schoop will score. Machado heads to third. He'll be held there by Bobby Dickerson. And Adam Jones has an RBI double, and the O's get on the board.
A good piece of hitting right there by Adam Jones. Some good ABs from Schoop and Machado. We'll set this inning up. Single and then a walk. And how about Adam Jones catching it out front and hooking it down the line. Just eluding Devers at third base. Devers frustrated, pounding the dirt. As Adam Jones picks up an RBI and a knock.
And the double puts two in scoring position. Still only one out. Boston with a 5-run lead will play the infield back. Here's Trey Mancini, who popped up his first at bat. Change up for a strike.
Yeah, pretty good pitch. Turns it over on that outside corner.
It's fascinating to see pitchers throw changeups on the first pitch of an at bat.
Right.
What are you changing up from?
Yeah, exactly.
When he got the result, Mancini looked fooled and he let it go by. Tries again and misses outside. Red Sox, of course, have won the AL East the last 2 years, and it's the first time since 1915 and 1916 that they've won the division back-to-back years, or back in that time it was they won the American League pennant. So they do that every 100 years.
Yeah.
Chopper to third. Devers will come to the plate. And Machado safe. He got the foot in before the tag. And a real good job there by Will Little, not anticipating that it was going to be an easy out.
It sure was, even though it looked like it might have been just a gimme out right there. Vasquez pulls out a little too soon. Manny Machado kind of getting in the line of the throw. And you see Vasquez backing out. Manny just gets his foot in there. Under the tag up high around the chest shoulder area. And Manny's foot slid in there. Manny makes the call. Absolutely.
Vasquez looked shocked, but he clearly was late on that tag. So he's had a couple of defensive lapses here. The throw when he had Machado out easily at second base. If he fired right away, he hesitated. Manny got back, and now that late tag. So that'll be a fielder's choice RBI for Mancini. Jones goes to third. And here is Mark Trumbo. Still only one out. So the 2 runs this inning charged to Jalen Beeks, and now it's all Kent's runners on base. Check swing ties him up. He did not swing. Mark flied out to right field, his first at bat. He is looking for a bounce back year, and that would certainly benefit the Orioles.
Yeah, he's been grinding already this spring. Still trying to get the feel, see the ball, pick it up a little sooner. But the swing just a little in between right now. And Mark Trumbo, very cerebral when it comes to hitting, and sometimes he can get in his own way as far as outthinking himself. And most major league hitters know that if you're going to have success, when you step into the box, you can only be thinking of one thing, and that's seeing the ball and hitting it. Can't be thinking about your bat path or how you're setting up in the box.
There's a chopper, run will score. And out at second base is the sliding Mancini. The ball popped out of the glove of Marrero as he tried to transfer to get it to first, but Jones comes in, so that'll be an RBI fielder's choice for Trumbo, and it's 6-3.
A nice play by Trey Mancini. This is what Buck Showalter teaches his guys. Ball takes it in the line, or ground ball in the line. You got to slide into that fielder. Try to take him out, just like you're doing at second base, breaking up a double play. And he does just enough to offset that kind of timing. Trumbo able to get to first base. And another run crosses the plate.
There's Danny Valencia making his Orioles debut here today. Just signed yesterday. And a very interesting contract that he signed with the O's. He's here on a minor league deal, but he and the Orioles have an arrangement that they know he will not accept an assignment to AAA here with the O's. He has an opt-out late in camp that if he's not going to stick with the Orioles as a utility man, that he will leave and look for a job in the big leagues elsewhere. He says he has nothing left to prove in the minor leagues at this stage of his career.
Well, Danny Valencia has proven himself at the major league level as far as success against left-handed pitching. Even last year made some improvements against righties, some good numbers offensively. So Valencia, like a lot of free agents, kind of waiting for their opportunity to get a job. And it landed with the Orioles, and the Orioles thinking that Valencia could be a huge insurance policy. Big bat, and get him pretty reasonable.
And misses outside. Valencia last year was with Seattle, and he hit 15 home runs in 130 games. He had exactly 500 plate appearances for the Mariners. Runner at first and 2 down. O's have 3 runs in. There's another hard hit ball, and Devers catches it in the air. That ball was smoked. So Valencia has a double and allowed out at third base, and the inning ends. But the O's cut the lead in half. We head to the 4th. Loud out ends it 6-3 Boston. And that Orioles bicycle is always outside at Ed Smith. He's a permanent fixture here. It's right outside behind home plate, and here inside is Andrew Faulkner going to the mound.
Now last year Faulkner pitching with AAA Norfolk, 34 games, 3 wins with a 2.79 earned run average, and there is deception from Faulkner. Slinging it from the side, little cross-body delivery. Roughed up a little bit in his last outing, so looking to bounce back here in this outing. Buck Showalter know that he could throw strikes. Actually had a walk and hit a batter in his last opportunity.
Here's Mookie Betts, his 3rd at bat. He has struck out and hit a comebacker. Rough start for Gabriel Ynoa. 6 earned runs in 2 innings on 7 hits, including back-to-back home runs by Benintendi and Devers in the 2nd. So Faulkner trying to impress. He last worked on Wednesday against the St. Louis Cardinals. So he's had a few days off in between. You know, I wonder, and obviously Inoa was missing his spots. The fastball command was not there today. But since he hasn't pitched in a game in a week, you know, you wonder how that has affected him. These guys, as you pointed out, Mike, they love their routines.
Yeah, it's hard. As John Russell was talking about, just making sure guys get their reps in, and I know it might be one of those arms that they just can't find a spot right now, but certainly a little rusty here. Start this ball game off, and Faulkner starting off the same way. He ended his last outing with a walk.
Andrew Benintendi homered a 2-run shot way out of here in right field his last at bat. He's 1 out of 2. So Betsu can run on at first base. Benintendi and Betts last year as teammates each had a 20-20 season. 20 home runs and more than 20 steals. And Betts just seems to love hitting against the Orioles, especially in Baltimore. The 1-1 as Faulkner struggling to throw strikes. 25 years old. Orioles got him from Texas. That was last April, and spent the remainder of the year at AAA for Norfolk. He is not on the 40-man roster. The 1-2 as Benintendi fouls it off. Now the Red Sox last year won the division despite hitting the fewest home runs in the American League. They hit just 168 as they really felt the loss of David Ortiz. Long run for Beckham. He won't get there.
Yeah, but they had they would love the power to come back that Ortiz took when he retired. And that's what they're hoping for with J.D. Martinez back. But it's a productive offense in the sense that they'll see a lot of pitches. You know, they'll take their base on balls. They have a lot of opportunities to score runs. You know, so they get base runners on and come up with the hits. Might not have the 40 home run guy. And they didn't last year, but still found ways to have a productive offense.
And they play in a ballpark, half their games at Fenway Park, that is a doubles and triples ballpark. And he got a high fastball, so lefty on lefty, a strikeout and 1 away.
Well, tough pitch, and made some good ones here against Benintendi. That's the fastball riding up and in, a little tougher from that 3/4 slot. Benintendi not picking it up till late. That time it's in Joseph's glove. Good pitch by Faulkner. That might settle him down a little bit.
So now the shift on against Rafael Devers. You see Beckham went from third base over to the second base side, leaving Manny at shortstop. Beckham looking towards the dugout to Bobby Dickerson to make sure he was in the right spot. This is all new to Tim as a third baseman going on to the other side in the shift. Manny's trying to help him out.
Right. All these infielders nowadays, they're used to shifting around, moving all over the place. I mean, to say you're a third baseman or a shortstop, it just seems not right nowadays because of the amount of shifts that teams use, you know, in a game. So, you know, now Beckham and Manny Machado have to figure out who's going to be the double play combination, how they're going to turn the double play, ball back to the pitcher. So a lot of talking, and you see both of them still letting each other know.
Scope's enjoying it. Welcome to the shift. He'll be out of play. Devers inspecting that bat to make sure it didn't crack. So Manny, the Orioles shortstop now. Beckham, third baseman in the shift on the other side. And he's still enjoying it. 1-2. Runner goes, and the pitch is swung on and lifted to left center field. Playable there for Mancini. He's got it for the out and 2 down. Well, talking about Boston winning the division, they did it with pitching. Their starters were 4th in the American League, and Mike, that's where the Orioles, without a doubt, need to improve. And that number at the top, the highest ERA of any starting rotation in the American League last year.
Yeah, it was a tough one for sure. Chris Tillman looking to have a bounce back year. Kevin Gausman looking to put together a full season, as he's a half and half guy. He's that the second half of his years have been really good. It's the first half where he struggles. Bundy's going to have a full year under his belt, so you kind of anticipate some improvement from the rotation, and then obviously getting Cashner over I think is going to help, and you know, finding that 5th starter to improve on those numbers. And bottom line is, you know, everybody's going to have to step up. And I'm not talking about just the starters, but the defense is going to have to play better. The bullpen's got to be more consistent. Every aspect of the Orioles game, if they want to make it back to the postseason, has to improve.
You got to look at Miguel Castro, who's sitting in the bullpen. He finally got on the mound the other day in a B game on the backfield. He had some knee issues, but they cleared up very quickly, fortunately for him. He's in the mix for a rotation spot. But the other number on that list that really jumped out is the fewest innings of any starting staff in the American League, 846. That puts a tremendous amount of pressure on the bullpen.
Oh, exactly. And then
wear and tear as well.
Yeah, we talk about the importance of the bridge man. Who's going to be the guy? Last year it was Castro slid in there, and Noah stepped in there. Asher stepped in for the Orioles. You know, and these are guys that are up and down through the minor leagues. So who's going to be, you know, that swing man, the bridge man, to, if a starter gets knocked out early, going to eat up 2 or 3 innings to save the bullpen. You know, these are the spots that Buck Showalter, Alan Mills is going to be talking about it. Obviously, Roger McDowell trying to come up with the right pieces. And I know they'd love to limit that revolving door with AAA. I mean, they'd love to limit those moves, but they have to keep some openings, some optionable players. You know, just in case somebody doesn't pan out, you got to be able to have that ability to move players up and down.
You saw Richard Blyer in the bullpen. Michael Givens on the bench today. Givens and Blyer are, in our mind, 2 locks to make the team, as are Darren O'Day and Brad Brock. So that leaves 3 bullpen spots. It's Donnie Hart. He's certainly in the mix with his big league experience. Pedro Arrojo, who pitched another scoreless inning here. So that's 3 appearances, 3 scoreless innings for Arrojo, the Rule 5 pick. Betts goes, and it's popped up. Beckham is hoping for a play, and he will have one as it curls back to him, and Tim has it for the out. So the leadoff walk left stranded. Mid-4th, O's come to bat, down by 3. Red Sox took a 6-0 lead, but the O's got 3 back in the 3rd. And as the Orioles come to bat in the 4th, another new pitcher on as Matthew Kent lasted just 2/3 of an inning.
Now let's take a look at Chandler Shepard. Last season in Triple-A, he was a 14th round pick or 13th round pick out of Kentucky back in 2014. 407 earned run average last season. Does have a power slider. At times plays really well. Big league slider. Fastball low 90s. An outside shot here. Maybe getting called up this season.
Nice crowd on hand. Looks like it could be a sellout here at Ed Smith on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Joey Rickard will lead off. Joseph and Beckham will follow. Joey popped up to first, his first at bat. Chandler Shepard. Sounds like he should be in a law firm somewhere. Ball and a strike on Rickard. Now Joey certainly is in the mix for an opening day roster spot. Bordy and I were trying to do the roster math before the game for the remaining spots that are available. And you have the four who will be the opening day infield of Davis, Scope, Manny, and Tim Beckham. And the outfield likely will be Mancini, Jones with Colby Rasmus in right field. Caleb Joseph, the everyday catcher. So that leaves a backup catcher. Somebody has to be a utility infielder. Likely Anthony Santander because of the Rule 5. He needs 44 more days. So that's 3. Mark Trumbo, the DH, so that's 4. So that's, let's see, 8 plus 4, 9, 4, 10, 11, 12. There's at least one spot. This ball's lifted to right. That's playable for Mookie Betts. And it's there for the out. Now, as far as the utility infielder spot, with Eric Salcedo sent back to the minor league camp, here are the remaining in camp. And we have Valencia in there, even though he doesn't play shortstop, because in an emergency, Tim Beckham can just slide over. So the way he hits lefties, that is an option.
Absolutely. Oh, he wouldn't have been brought in here to camp if he wasn't an option as a utility player. Valencia could play third base, he could play first, and some outfield. Tejada, the most proven utility type player. He's having a good spring.
Caleb will have a base hit off the glove of Devers. He's thinking too, and he's trying. And the throw is off the mark, and there's a hustle double for Caleb Joseph.
Oh, you like to see that. Running with the head up. He recognized it kicked off the glove of Devers, but it's all about hustling out of the box. Take a good look here at Caleb Joseph. Getting on the slider that backs up on him. And he's hustling. He sees the kicks away. Boy, that head gets down. A tight turn right here. That's the most important thing. That tight turn to second base. More of a direct line. That allows Caleb Joseph to get himself in a scoring position. Nice base running there.
So Beckham with an RBI chance. So with the starting 9, if you will, with Trumbo as the DH, that leaves one backup spot as an outfielder available. And we are projecting that Santander will make the team because of the investment the Orioles already have in him. I mean, he was here all last year. Unfortunately, had the elbow injury, but he needs 44 more days. So with all that investment, you wouldn't think that they would allow him to be sent back to the Cleveland Indians. So that leaves one outfield spot. Now Valencia also could play the outfield, but he's better as an infielder. Most of his big league experience has been as a third baseman. So will that be Joey Rickard? Will that be Craig Gentry? Will that be Austin Hayes?
Well, there are a lot of good players fight for that spot. I'll tell you, they brought in Alex Presley, a proven major league player that hit over 300 last year at the major league level. There's some good-looking outfield prospects. Young guys, Cedric Mullins having another strong
he's
camp.
looked great.
You mentioned Austin Hayes, who was up last year.
And a base hit the other way. Nice job of hitting. Caleb Joseph will be sent. Betts was late to get to the ball and then botched it. So there's an RBI single and a good send by Bobby Dickerson.
Boy, what a nice piece of hit by Tim Beckham right there. The teams that can beat the shift more often are the teams that can have some success. Beckham pulling the hands inside. The whole right side opened up over there. Shoots the hole with a great base running by Caleb Joseph to get himself at second base. Tim Beckham picks himself up an RBI, and the Orioles get a little bit closer.
Mookie Betts hustling in, trying to get to the ball for a possible play at the plate, and then he bobbled it. So Bobby Dickerson forcing the issue there, and Caleb Joseph hustling all the way to the plate. Scope takes inside.
Well, same type of situation right here. Whole right side of the infield opened up. I mean, I know Jonathan Scope's got power, 32 home runs last year, but you're down early in a ball game. This situation is going to happen all year long. Whoever learns how to handle the bat the best is going to have the most opportunities to push some runs across the plate, get themselves in a scoring position.
Beckham thought about it, but he stays put. Coach Davis there coaching at first base today behind Beckham, helping him out with the signs in the defensive positioning. Got to buy him. 2-1.
Pretty good swing though from Jonathan Scope. Not too big, not trying to do too much, just basically swung right through the fastball.
And another base hit as Scope goes to right field. So a nice job of hitting there, and the Orioles have 2 on with a run in, still only 1 down. Fans, you can enjoy Birdland's best value in family entertainment when your children ages 14 and under join the Junior Orioles Dugout Club. Memberships are just $25 and include your choice of 2 6-game ticket packages. You get a backpack, a cap, and more. Plus, all guests can get a seat for as low as $6 per person. Join today, Orioles.com/dugout club. They're probably in the dugout club. She's thinking about it. And here's Manny. Tying runs around with 1 down. That breaking ball stays inside.
And a little overthrow right there, trying to make that perfect pitch to Manny Machado. Backs up on him. He's putting some pressure on Shepard right now. Especially just beating the shift, slapping some balls the other way. That'll get in a pitcher's head.
Borderline pitch. Yeah, I really do believe that Trey Mancini's emergence last year has had an effect on a lot of the Orioles' more veteran hitters. The way he goes foul line to foul line and always has an opportunity to put a ball in play for a base hit. That ball's crushed down the line. That's a double at least. Tim Beckham will score. Scope is hustling the third. He'll be sent by Bobby Dickerson. There will be a play at the plate. Here's the relay throw. It's dropped by Vasquez, and Scope gets in. And Manny's going to hustle a third. So the Orioles tie it on a 2-run double by Manny Machado, and the go-ahead run at third with only 1 down.
Boy, another great swing by Manny Machado. A little slider backing up on him, and Manny ready for it, hammering this ball down that left field line. He gets down there in a hurry. Jonathan Scope with a nice read, running the bases, able to score easily from first base. Vasquez hanging on to the ball again. Scope scores. Manny has been on fire this spring training.
Well, we like to call him Wheel Scope.
He ran out of some wheels there when he got to home plate.
I think Vasquez was concerned about a collision. I wouldn't want Scope coming at me.
I agree. There he is, top speed, but then tries somewhat of a hook slide there or something, but a little crash and burn, but comes in safe.
What kind of slide was that?
It looked like it was going to be some sort of a hook slide, but never quite hooked.
I haven't seen a hook slide hands first. So the infield drawn in, and we learned something today: a hook slide head first. Adam Jones will take ball one with the infield in. Crazy game. So Boston gets 6 runs off Gabriel and Noah, and the Orioles come back with 3 in the third, 3 more here in the fourth, and we are tied. Jones has a perfect day going with a couple of hits and an RBI. How many at-bats or plate appearances in game situations did you need to feel ready for opening day?
It's just like 2 to get me frustrated and feel like I was into the grind, throwing my helmet and bat.
I'm ready.
That's exactly right. Now it's usually around 50 ABs. They say they feel pretty good. You know, about seeing the pitches, the ability to have the timing to get that foot down and wait for a slider or a breaking ball, recognize a changeup.
Scope is still catching his breath. Adam thought about it. A high strike called, so 3-1. Well, this early in camp, and we mentioned in our open, the Orioles, when this game is concluded, will have played exactly a third of their spring training games. 22 more to go. This is game 11, including the game at AAA Norfolk on the way back to Baltimore. Foul tip, it sounded like 3-2. So players like Adam Jones have yet to make a road appearance.
Yeah, slowly but surely they'll start making those trips. Let's get some back-to-back games.
I was talking to Adam in the clubhouse this morning, and I didn't see any gray pants in his locker. So I'm not sure how many road games he's going to be on. Maybe the one in Norfolk.
Probably.
He'll probably play in Clearwater on March 25th, the final game here, because that's their last chance against major league opponent before opening day. Shop, then foul.
Been some good at-bats here in this inning. You think about how the Orioles were able to push these runs across the plate. Yeah, Caleb Joseph, some great base running after a deflected ball in the infield, hustles into second base. And then Beckham and Scope hitting behind the runners. Base hits to right field. Kind of sparked this rally. So the Orioles take note of that. Be more consistent in that regard. They do have the ability to manufacture runs.
Adam battling here. Got ahead 3-0. Now it's full, but he's fouled off a couple of real good pitchers' pitches. Good RBI chance with the infield drawn in. Right field it pretty well. Betts on the run, will not have a play, and that's in there for a base hit. And it bangs against the wall. Machado will crawl home, and heading to second base is Adam Jones. So an RBI double for Jones. He has a 2 RBI game, and the Orioles have the lead at 7-6.
That's impressive right there. Adam Jones fouling off some tough pitches. Finally gets a pitch he can handle. Stays short and gets it on a good part of the bat. Drives it to right field. Picking up an RBI. Gets himself in a scoring position. Quite an inning for this Oriole offense.
And for a second consecutive inning, a pitching change within the inning as Shepard leaves. He goes just 1/3 of an inning. Adam Jones has given the O's the lead in the fourth.
Harford County is perfectly situated along the shores of the scenic
ball game. Last year in single A, actually got up to high A, 36 games. Come away with 7 wins, 275 earned run average, 60 punch outs, 19 walks, and 68 2/3 innings of work. Fastball, cutter, and breaking ball combination. He's looking to try to get out of this inning as the Oriole bats have come to life here, pounding out some knocks. 3 doubles here in this inning. 4 runs on the board, take the lead.
Yeah, this all got started with that hustle double by Caleb Joseph, and the Orioles have 5 consecutive hits. Trey Mancini will face Gorst. Trey has an RBI and a ground out. Matthew Gorst, 23 years old. He's from Alpharetta, Georgia, which is a suburb of Atlanta. And he played at college at the Georgia Institute of Technology, or Georgia Tech.
There you go.
And 2-0 the count on Trey, who's 0 for 2, but does have that RBI in the fielder's choice. For Matthew Gorst, this is his 4th spring appearance. He's allowed 1 run on 2 hits.
Gorst working that slider on the outside corner, and Trey Mancini just spitting on it right now, waiting out a pitch that he can handle. Pretty good pitchers pitches, but Mancini showing the patience right now.
And a 4-pitch walk. Third walk allowed by Red Sox pitching. Boston last year had the 2nd best ERA in the American League as a team, 3.70, and that's a big reason why they were able to win the division. When your ERA is that impressive, it gives you so many more opportunities to win low-scoring games.
Well, pretty good rotation they have over there in Boston.
Mark Trumbo now, RBI ground out his last at-bat. It's 5 in a row out of the strike zone. Matthew Gorst, 2 different A-ball stops last year, so you wonder where he'll begin. Will he go back to Salem in the Carolina League, or will he earn the promotion to Double-A? Trumbo down the line, fades foul, right off the end of the bat. Well, Trumbo, 47 home runs, a career high in 2016, and last year 23 home runs. And he went from 108 RBIs 2 years ago to 65 last year.
Yeah, it was off year for sure for Trumbo, especially after that monster season he put up in first year with the O's. He bounced back a little bit this year.
Cued foul. It rolls down the line. Now, is that a missed timing swing, or was he fooled by the pitch?
A little of both right there. A little cutter. Another good one on the outside corner, and Trumbo just a little quick on it. Pulling the trigger a little too soon. And he's been a little jumpy this spring. Staying well out in front. He's not trusting his hands and letting that ball travel a little bit longer.
1-2. That one hung. Trumbo fouls it straight back.
A pretty good pass right there.
Trumbo has had 3 seasons in his career with 30 or more home runs. Last year, 23. The majority of his at-bats last year came as DH. That's a good take. It's the pitch designed to chase, and he didn't chase it.
Yeah, here in the early parts of spring, we've seen Trumbo offer at that pitch right when it leaves a pitcher's hand. So nice to see him hold his ground right there, keep the hands back. Let's see it before he can hit it. Orioles offense been really patient today. Not chasing too many pitches out of the zone. Another good AB right here by Trumbo. Forcing Red Sox pitchers throw a lot of pitches.
Bobby Dickerson yelled back, and Adam pointed to him and said thanks. Shift on against Trumbo. Runners don't go, and it's called strike 3. Painted the outside corner for strike 3 on Trumbo and 2 men down.
That's where you want to put it. It's all about location. It's 89-mile-an-hour fastball. It is dotted up, down and away. That's the spot.
Yeah, you hit the glove like that, you're getting the call.
Yeah, perfect location.
The 2 down, and here is Danny Valencia as the Orioles have batted around. Valencia signed a minor league contract yesterday, right in the lineup. And he's hit 2 rockets. Facing a right-handed pitcher for the first time in his career. He has a .313 career batting average facing lefties. It drops off to .247 against righties. So if it works out and he makes the club, he'll likely be in a platoon, and he'll start against all the left-handed starters. So he gets to see Chris Sale and David Price.
Lucky him, right?
Sabathia. Jones and Mancini second and first with 2 down. The Orioles have 4 runs in to get the lead. They've erased a 6-0 deficit. Three and 0.
Of course, having a hard time throwing it over the plate. He counts on over-aggressive hitters. Maybe expand the zone a little bit, but Orioles showing some good patience this afternoon.
There's a strike taken all the way, 3-1.
I don't think Danny's going to let that one go. He tends to throw it again. And Valencia does not get cheated.
So 10 out of the zone of his 15 pitches. Popped up. Mookie Betts ranging over towards the line. And he'll make the catch, and that will end it. But the Orioles get 4 and take a 7-6 lead on the Red Sox. Yes, it is a lovely day to be outdoors. I'm sure some of the Orioles will find the beaches tomorrow on their only day off. And here is James Teague, who comes on. He's over from the minor league camp today.
I see his numbers in Cincinnati last season, 21 games. Away with a win with a 2.31 earned run average, 34 punch-outs, 23 in the third innings of work, only scattering the 16 hits. A good opportunity here. Buck Showalter's eyes.
Orioles drafted him in the 37th round of 2016 out of the University of Arkansas, the alma mater of the starter for the Red Sox today, Jalen Beeks. There's Blake Swihart leading off. No position changes as of yet for the Orioles. Swihart drove in 2 runs in the first inning with a 2-run double. So Teague ended up at Delmarva last year, got into 5 games late in the year. That ball is going to fall in for a base hit, but Rickard over quickly keeps it to a single.
A little slider right there from Teague that just didn't finish. Biting down in under the hands, stayed elevated, and Swihart swatted it out there to right field.
The Orioles brought 4 players over from the minor league camp today, all 4 pitchers, including Teague. Christian Vasquez has an infield hit in 2 trips. I had that backwards. Teague actually finished with Aberdeen. He started with Delmarva last year. And he pitched much better when he went through the Ironbirds. CRA for Aberdeen was 1.02. Wow.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
He's rushing it up there. Pretty good arm. 93, 94 mile an hour fastball.
Swihart the tying run at first. Nobody down. We're in the 5th inning on a game that has been dominated by the hitters. Infield at double play depth. Good looking breaking ball stayed on the inside corner.
A little backup slider right there. Let's see the Orioles infield get some action here. Opportunity for a double play ball. And
1-2 the count on Vasquez. Overthrows that fastball down and away. Guys like James Teague, I mean, obviously he knows he has no shot here. He's in the minor league camp, but you know he's trying to impress it. Take advantage of, plant the seed like last year Jimmy Yacobonis and Stefan Crichton did in spring training. They were further along, of course, in their careers, but when you're given these opportunities, you want to pitch well and show Buck Showalter and Roger McDowell that you could be relied on somewhere down the road.
Absolutely. Just a lot of it's just how you respond. Yeah, Crichton came in last year and just blew everybody's doors away. Just say, here, hit it if you can. Buck, love that. Love the aggressiveness.
Swihart chased back by James Teague. Christian Vasquez is from Puerto Rico. Swihart runs and the ball's lifted to center field. Adam Jones has a play. will fire behind the runner, and it's off the base. So finally, Vasquez retired and one down on that looper to center field to Jones. Fans, Orioles single game tickets for the upcoming season are on sale. Don't miss your chance to lock in the best seats to the top games of 2018. And a Birdland favorite returns with a new design on June 30th when the first 35,000 fans 15 and over receive the Birdland Hawaiian shirt. Always popular. Plan your Birdland summer at Orioles.com. There's a different version of the Hawaiian shirt. Here's Sam Travis. He'll look at a strike. Now, the single game tickets, it's a good idea if you like to see certain teams to get them now, and then you don't have to worry about availability. Maybe you get better seat location.
Yeah.
I like to follow the Mike Bordick theory. Plan ahead. Teague is 23 years old. Grew up in Bartlesville, Oklahoma. That ball's cued to Trumbo. They'll play the safe out, the easy out at first base. 2 down, moving into scoring position is Swihart. That ball looked like it was spinning backwards.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Trumbo, nice job just taking care of that baseball. Yeah, a lot of English moving all over the place on the grass, and he just wanted to control it and make sure of that one out. Oh, good play over there by Trumbo.
Ivan De Jesus will bat. He has an infield hit in 2 trips, now 30 years old, also from Puerto Rico. Spent the last 2 years in Cincinnati. He's a non-roster player in camp for Boston.
You like to see the young arm have the confidence, throw that breaking ball for a first pitch strike. That's important to see.
Swihart takes off. Caleb throws, and safe is the call at third. He got the foot in just ahead of Beckham's tag. So that base stolen off Teague. Caleb, pretty good effort.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely stolen off Teague. No attention paid, and he gets a little rhythm, a little movement towards third base, and it ends up being a pretty easy steal. That throw takes Beckham to the foul side of third base. I don't know, though. 2 outs. Take that
Why risk
chance,
it, right?
Mm.
Well, these are the situations in spring training that Caleb was telling us are the most challenging. He's got a minor leaguer on the mound that he likely has never seen before, and he's trying to work within what the pitcher Teague likes to do, while also trying to get him out of a jam here with the tying run at third base. And the Orioles have gone through some pitchers in the spring training camp, including the minor leaguers that have come over.
A lot of arms in camp. And a lot in the organization, a lot in the system right now. Just trying to find those big arms.
Count holding 2-2 on De Jesus. Another foul ball, and that one off the mask of Caleb Joseph.
Teague flipping in a good fastball, 94 miles an hour. Caleb taking the brunt of that one. Oof. Off the forehead.
Well, he told Will Little immediately, "I'm fine, let's go." The mask took the brunt of that. That ball slicing down the right field line, and that's a fair. Oh, foul ball! Foul ball is the call. So just foul down the line.
Oh, it's close.
Goodwin was trying to help Chad Fairchild out to say that was a fair ball. But the umpire saw it differently.
Oh, good at bat going right now.
Keeps fouling pitches off to stay alive and prolong the at-bat. Teague listed at 6 feet 185. This will be the 7th pitch to Ivan De Jesus. A little bit low. Full count. And he got him, so he gets out of the inning. Came off speed for the swinging strike 3. A base hit, a man left. Mid-5th. Owes by a run. That's a 7-6 game as we head to the bottom of the 5th. The Red Sox have made numerous changes, and Bobby Poyner has come on to pitch, left-hander.
And take a look at Poyner's numbers last year, topping out Double-A, 43 games, couple wins with a 1.49 earned run average, 84 punch-outs in 60 innings of work. Pretty impressive numbers right there. And Poyner known for pitching to contact. That's what he's famous for in the minor leagues. An overpowering pitcher, likes to put the ball in play.
Steve Selski's now in left field. Center field is Zue Lin, and right field is Jeremy Barfield. Mike Olt is now at third, and the new catcher behind the plate is Oscar Hernandez. And Joey Rickard will take a strike leading off. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes.
A couple dotted fastballs right there, just 89 miles an hour, but catcher didn't even have to move his glove.
Rickard 0 for 2 in the game today. Pops this one straight up. Mike Olt charging it from third. Almost lost his balance, but he hangs on for the out. Well, one thing you have to do, Mike, in the AL East is play well within the division. And what is surprising about this, of course, the Red Sox won the division. They held off the Yankees, but the Orioles finished 18 games out of first place last year, yet 37-39 within the division.
Right. And I think they actually had a winning record against the Red Sox last season. The Orioles played him tough, but to no avail. It certainly is important. If you want to have some success, you better put up some good numbers. And it's tough in the East.
With the additions the Yankees have made, there are many that feel they're the favorite in the division, but Brian Cashman wants all the pressure on Boston. He said, "Nope, they're defending champs. It's all on them."
Let them all have that extra pressure. The Orioles can sneak right up. Always, Buck Showalter doesn't mind being the underdog. Start the year off. We had talked about earlier. Some guys have to step up. Give them that edge.
Greg Gentry there with the skipper. Gentry's also in the mix for that final outfield spot, the backup role. And one thing he brings the ability to come off the bench late in the game, possibly steal a base.
Yeah.
He plays all three outfield positions, and he plays them all well. And Caleb down on strikes. So 2 quick outs.
What a nasty little pitch right there. A little change up. Kind of down and in. Caleb out in front, swinging over the top. Pointer not missing his spots. As advertised. Strike thrower. No walks.
Here's Tim Beckham. Center field. He got a lot of it. Back it goes, and that ball is gone. It carries out of here. Tim Beckham, his second spring home run, and the Orioles now have a 2-run lead.
Now veteran hitter Tim Beckham, he sees this kid throwing strikes, pounding the strike zone. He jumps all over the heater. Of course, the heater not finding the spot that Pointer wanted. Pitcher was setting up in, and that fastball stayed out over the plate. Beckham does not miss. Ooh, loud noise straight away center field.
And that was not wind aided.
No.
Hit the batter's eye, and that's a home run. Here's Jonathan Scope. Jonathan's had a good day. 2 for 3, couple of singles. He has scored twice. He had 3 hits in 4 games coming in. He has 2 hits here today. Beckham comparing home run swings with Mancini. Yeah, that's how I do it, Tim.
Boy, they can put on a show. There's some power in that Oriole dugout.
Beckham really worked out hard this winter. I mean, his upper body is noticeably different. A little late on the swing, and that's pop foul. Jonathan has hit 57 home runs combined the last 2 years. Facing Pointer here with 2 outs and the base is empty. Popped up this way.
And I think the most important thing, Jonathan Scope certainly has matured into a great young big league player, but the fact that can't get him out of the lineup. He's been healthy. He plays every day.
Look, his bat. Holt backs up on it. And fires across. So the inning ends, but the O's get another run as Tim Beckham got into one. This one to straight away center field, a no doubt about it shot. And it gives the Orioles a 2-run lead. God, what's going honoring members of their extended Orioles community who have distinguished themselves by selflessly working or volunteering in fields that improve the lives of others. And today's honorees, husband and wife team of Dan and Laura Teller, they are extraordinary leaders with the Miracle League of Minnesota. Now, the Orioles are proud partners of the Miracle League. It's a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing an opportunity for every person to play baseball regardless of their ability. So we congratulate them on a job well done, Dan and Laura Teller. Jason Aquino comes on to work here. So Teague goes one scoreless inning, and we want to welcome in Tim Beckham, who joins us from out beyond the Orioles bullpen. And Tim, I think you got all of that ball. That home run you hit. What about it?
Yeah, man. Well, just didn't want to let another fastball for a strike go by, and want to stay in my approach, stay aggressive, and see a pitch up in the zone that I can drive.
Well, pretty good looking Oriole offense today. I mean, there were some patient at bats, and we saw that last year in the month of August, where guys were just passing the baton, letting their teammates pick them up. And we kind of saw a glimpse of that today.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what we want to do. We want to piece together good at bats each and every day, and just pass the baton. You know, we got a lot of good hitters in our lineup, and we got a lot of hitters that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. So just want to put together good at bats and don't waste any ABs and pass the baton and let the next guy bring you in.
Boy, Beck, you went the other way against the shift, and then right after you, Jonathan Scope did it. Is that something that we're going to look for this year, maybe, trying to beat the shift?
Well, man, we're trying to hit the ball hard. We're trying to hit the ball hard all over the ballpark, and like I said, piece together good at bats and good things that happen.
Here's the ball hit down the line. That's a base hit. So Hernandez, following the error by Mountcastle, puts it into the corner. Runner will be held at third. So Marrero goes to third. He reached on the error, and then a double by Hernandez, the new catcher's in for the first time. Now, Tim, do you have a plan like where you want it to be by this is game 11, so now you're a third of the way through the games as a team. Where are you in terms of your timing and recognition of pitches and things like that?
Well, obviously, the pitchers right now are kind of ahead of the position players, but as far as timing-wise, I mean, you just get in there, you take each at bat, and you want to grind it out. You want to put together good at bats, and you don't want to think about your timing too much. But at the end of the day, you know it's early in the spring, and March 29th is when the lights come on, and I guarantee everyone on the team will be ready for that day.
And how's it going at third base? Are you getting more and more comfortable the more reps you get?
Yeah, for sure. The more reps, the more comfortable I get, and I want to continue to make the routine plays and let everything else take care of itself.
And we saw today in today's game where you shifted over to the second base side, and you and Manny were communicating out there. It seems like you guys all get along well on this infield.
Yeah, we do, man. It's a big family in the locker room, and our success will be off the team camaraderie, and that's going to be huge for us, and we know that, and we know that's a family, and we are each other brothers keepers. So we're gonna take it in like that and play good baseball.
Tim, it has been very, very warm and sun-baked here in Florida, and I did notice on Thursday night that they were trying to waterlog the infield to soften it up. Are you finding that we're getting to that point in the spring where the infield is becoming more like concrete?
Yeah. Later in the game, the deeper in the game, the ground gets hard, and but I mean, it's still baseball. You want to catch the ball, and you want to make the play. You want to catch the ball and throw the ball. You don't want to look for excuses, and the ground is hard, and you want to make the routine plays, like I said, and you just want to be consistent with it.
All right, well, Tim, we appreciate the visit. Thanks so much for joining us. Keep it going. You're playing very well.
Will do. Thank you.
All right, that's Tim Beckham, nice enough to join us. There's a pop-up off the bat of Lynn. And there's Pedro Alvarez, the new first baseman, making the catch, and we're going to give you all the defensive changes. Alex Presley with his new number 0 in left field. Cedric Mullins is in center field, and Anthony Santander is in right field. Around the infield, Ryan Mountcastle, who committed the error, he's at third. Luis Sardinas is now at shortstop. Ruben Tejada, almost said Miguel Tejada. Ruben Tejada at second base. Pedro Alvarez is at first, and Andrew Susak is now doing the catching. So with Jason Aquino on the mound, 9 defensive changes.
Yeah, Aquino, we were talking about Aquino last year and in the mix fighting for that 5th spot. Keno's had some inconsistencies, but known as a ground ball pitcher, and he's just got to get back into that groove where he can keep the ball down around the knees. Those ground balls.
Off the end of the bat to Santander. Runner will tag. Anthony makes the catch. Here's the throw home. It is up the line. So the error does hurt on the sac fly by Selski. And that brings in an unearned run as Marrero reached on the error. Once again, a 1-run game.
And take a look here. Santander just letting it fly. Nice job by Sussex coming out and blocking that ball, keeping it on the infield, keeping the runner at second base. Pretty heady play by the catcher.
There's Mike Alt, his first at bat. He's in Jackie Bradley's spot. So Jason Aquino, he should have had 1 out, nobody on, with the error by Mountcastle. Aquino's now 25 years old. He got into 7 games, a couple of starts with the Orioles over the past 2 years.
Wind's not dying down at all. Tough on the outfield and the infield. Ball's up in the air. Everybody's got to take notice.
Breaking ball down and in. Nice scoop there by Andrew Susac. Keno last year made 21 starts at AAA Norfolk. Pitched to an ERA of 4.24. And gloved by Keno. He just saved the base hit, and he'll get it out of the inning. So Boston comes up with an unearned run. They scram one. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Birds up, 8-7. Seven game, each team with 10 base hits. As the Orioles see the Red Sox for a second time this spring, and there's Fernando Rodriguez coming on.
Well, take a look at his numbers on the year. 11 games to come away with a win. 3.07 earned run average. 15 punch-outs, just the 1 walk. 12 hits given up. Rodriguez, a veteran journeyman reliever. Still pretty good fastball, low to mid-90s. Cutter and curve to go along with it.
So Rodriguez comes on. Passing the crowd here today. some defensive changes for Boston. There's Chad De La Gura. He is now at shortstop. First base is Josh Akami. There's Anthony Santander leading off. Second base is Esteban Quiroz. And the new pitcher is Rodriguez. And we do want to pass along that this is the time of year where we do get some satellite outages because of the sun. So we encourage our viewers, if that does occur, please stay with us, because Mike Bordick has so many more very interesting things to say as this day goes on. So very brief, but you know, sun rules all. We appreciate your patience should that occur. Santander with a foul tip to stay alive.
Shortstop number 8,
Line to right, and that's going to fall for a base hit right off the end of the bat. And Santander gets on. It was a pretty good at bat.
Oh, it sure was. Falling behind. Nasty little breaking ball at the bottom of the zone. And one thing Scott Coolbaugh, Oriole hitting coach, talks about is grinding out at bats. When you fall behind, you get a couple of shots to drive a ball, wait out a mistake. But when you get to 2 strikes, you got to go to work. Do some, put the ball in play. I mean, just too many strikeouts. It's brought up every spring training. Right there, nice job staying on a tough breaking ball by Santander.
Pedro Alvarez now at first base. He is in Adam Jones' spot, the cleanup spot. I notice Alex Cora is following the Buck Showalter method. Buck rarely, when he makes substitutions in spring games, are they even up, meaning same position, and Alex Cora has done the same thing. He is the catcher in the right fielder spot. He is the center fielder in the left fielder spot. He's the left fielder in the third baseman spot. Pedro Alvarez getting a look at first base in this camp. Mike made a good point earlier. Dan Duquette, with all these additional players brought in, they may be what-if guys now, but if something happens, they're going to be happy they have them.
Yes.
Alvarez, a proven hitter. Right field. Back out it is Barfield looking up, and that ball is gone. Right on cue, Pedro Alvarez, a 2-run home run.
Good ball. Back in the O's uniform. Led the National League in home runs a few years ago. Pops another one.
Pedro goes deep. And the Orioles add to their lead. It's now 10-7. His first spring home run.
I'll take a look. Fastball up and out over. And the ball getting extended, but very limited head movement. Stays behind that baseball and gets extension through.
Ball 1 to Ryan Mountcastle. Soft line drive right to the new second baseman Quiroz. So Mountcastle's retired and 1 away.
A little slider there getting off the end of the bat of Mountcastle. Ryan Mountcastle having a strong spring with the bat. Liking that young man drive a baseball. Good looking young offensive player, Ryan Mountcastle.
Here's Luis Sardinas, his first at bat. He's in the mix for the utility infielder. You know, the other thing to keep in mind as we progress closer and closer to opening day, the Orioles have 3 weeks remaining here in Florida. March 25th, 3 weeks from today, is the final game in Florida. Other teams have roster crunches as well. And there may be a player in somebody else's camp that may find his way to the Orioles by opening day.
Yeah.
That tends to happen almost every year with several teams. Sardinas has 174 major league games of experience. He was claimed on waivers by the Orioles last May and spent the rest of the year at AAA Norfolk. Strike on the inside corner. Nice pitch by Rodriguez.
And he's been getting his hits here in spring training. Finding some holes, and of course has the ability to play all 3 infield positions.
Well, the addition of Valencia really adds to the intrigue of the roster makeup because of the way he can hit against left-handed pitching. And you know, he has it in his favor with the sense that he's already told the Orioles, and the Orioles have said, okay, fine, that he won't go to the minor leagues. So if he shows he can still hit, he may force his way onto this roster.
Right.
Again, he doesn't play shortstop, but he can play third, he can play first. And heck, if Steve Pearce could play second base, right? Why not Valencia?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The 2 down in the called strike 3. Here's Jacob Bruckman, his first at bat. He's in Valencia's spot. Fernando Rodriguez. Bruckman has had only 9 at-bats so far. Of course, he was in roster limbo there for a little bit when he was designated for assignment. He went on claim, so he was outrighted to AAA and back with the O's. And there's 1 hit in those 9 at-bats in the spring. Foul tip got a piece of Hernandez, the catcher.
Knocked him right off his feet there. Plate umpire going to give him a little bit of time. Doesn't count as a visit.
Oof.
Chin.
The mask and the shoulder.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Fights that one off to stay alive. Another 0-2 pitch to Bruckman. And you know, these scorecards tend to get a little messy.
I'll say.
Especially the defensive chart.
Yeah, you really need a couple scorecards. One for the first 5 innings. One for the
Yes.
last 4.
From 0-2 to 2-2 on Brugman. Just outside.
Boy, a lot of good at bats today by the Oriole offense. Taking a little bit of time. It's a slow start to spring. And seems like the past few games, this offense starting to pick it up a little bit. Better at bats, just a little more comfortable in the box.
Strike 3 call. The breaking ball got in there. So Brugman down on strikes, and that will end the inning. Pedro Alvarez making a bid to make this team. He hits a long home run to right. The end of the 7th with the O's in front.
How about Darren O'Day now into the ball game?
How about him?
64 games last season, 3.43 earned run average, and 76 punch outs and 60 innings of work for O'Day. Yeah, not much different. Not much has changed from Darren. He is the master of locating that fastball from down under, that slider, and of course he can rise that heater to the top of the zone.
Greeted by Daniel Mars, who's pinch hitting for Blake Swihart. He hits it down into the corner, and he's thinking 3. Sardinius, no throw, and there's a leadoff triple. So he hit it right down the line.
A young player ready to hit. Jumping on that first pitch. That slider, and of course he can rise that heater to the top of the zone.
Greeted by Daniel Mars, who's pinch hitting for Blake Swihart. He hits it down into the corner, and he's thinking 3. Sardinius, no throw, and there's a leadoff triple. And there he is with that leadoff triple. Jeremy Barfield's first at bat. He'll look at a strike. Jeremy from Houston, Texas, originally drafted by the Mets and went to college instead, and then drafted by Oakland.
That's some pretty good minor league numbers there. Big power, looking for average.
A lot of minor league experience. 869 games going back to 2008 for Barfield, facing Darren O'Day. his second game appearance. We expect to see Brad Brock here as well today. Tanner Scott was also listed. And there are 2 more innings. In the home games, Buck Showalter can count on 9 innings for his pitchers. If you're on the road and you trail, you might only get 8. Just missed. There's Mr. Brock.
Brock and O'Day need to catch up on some innings.
Brock hasn't been in a game yet.
No.
Check swing and he fouled it off. Pretty fascinating in spring training. You and I have spent a lot of time today talking about opportunity and trying to impress. And then you have guys like Darren O'Day and Brad Brock. They're in a different program. They know they're going to be on the team, and there's no rush. Just get ready by opening day on March 29th.
Just make sure you're ready to go. Yep. O'Day with the mustachioed look this year.
The what?
Got that mustache going.
Either way.
Looks like he's going to let it grow on the sides, curl it up like Raleigh fingers or something.
Well, there's a walk following the triple. Two men on with nobody down. Here's Chad De La Gura.
We all get a concrete mix. We'll take the rinse shot on the Culvers as a group.
His first at bat.
All right, we're ready.
Darren's command not as sharp as we've seen in the past. This is the beginning of spring for Darren O'Day. Iron some things out. Typically pinpoint accuracy with his command.
His initial appearance, he had a 3-up, 3-down inning. High fly ball to right. It chases Santander as the wind gets it. And Anthony runs it down for the out. Tagging from third and coming in the scores, Daniel Marr, so that makes it 10-8. The leadoff triple does come around the score on the sac fly by De La Gura. Esteban Quiroz now. Orioles infield a double play depth, his first at bat.
Now Day hoping for that sinker, 2-seam fastball down at the bottom of the zone and deuce one of those ground ball double plays.
There's a strike. Darren would love to get a ground ball here. Yeah, that is a pretty serious mustache, isn't it? Darren O'Day, with him, it's all about staying healthy.
More so now with Zach Britton on the shelf. Buck Showalter's going to need Darren O'Day to be consistent in the back end of the bullpen.
there's the movement there you were describing, Mike. Broke too soon and broke inside. So trying to work on the release point.
Now, typically, Darren can work both sides of the plate. He can crisscross. So if he might throw a slider in there that bites a little too soon, he might bring a two-seam fastball back in there on the inside corner. Do the same on the outside corner.
And he got him right at him with a fastball. 2 men down.
O'Day's fastball to the top of the zone. Such a tough pitch to lay off of. The young hitter giving chase as this one rides up and out of the zone. Get a little too big there. O'Day taking advantage.
Here's Josh Akami, who's now at first base. Well, that ball really dipped. Strike on Akami, who's now at first base. So the Red Sox have now used 18 position players, as have the Orioles. He was trying to time it and still swung me.
Well, it's hard. O'Day uses his slider like his changeup, and that slider almost stops out in front of home before it picks up enough speed to actually break. And you see so many hitters out in front, so they try to wait for that slider because Darren throws it so often, but that fastball ends up playing up, especially the one that's up at the top of the zone. A lot of hitters behind on that one.
And he struck him out. So back-to-back Ks will end the inning. And the Red Sox settle for a run. Well, we'd like to send our condolences to the family of Sammy Stewart. Spent 8 of his 10 years in the big leagues with the Orioles. Passed away on Friday. So Sammy Stewart passing away on Friday at the age of 63. The fans here at Edgeworth Stadium are enjoying their 7th inning stretch. What has turned out to be a warm day. A lot of the fans on the third base side in the sun have moved to the first base side to get in the shade. Marcus Walden comes on.
Walden, I see his numbers last year in AAA, 10 wins, a 3.92 earned run average. He's entering 102 hits, 86 punch-outs with 36 walks on the year. Drafted by the Blue Jays back in 2007. Last 2 seasons spent here in Boston in AAA. Pretty good arm, nice sinker ball or ground ball rate. See if he can induce some ground balls here in the late part of this game.
We'll go to work on Alex Presley. Alex was assigned uniform number 47, and well, midweek, I guess, he requested a lower number and said, hey, how about 0? And so I said, okay, you want 0, you got it. So his number 47 now belongs to Danny Valencia, who has just joined the team.
Yeah, he said 47 was too heavy. He needed something a little lighter back there. So 0, the lightest number they had.
Presley's having a good spring at the plate. He is 6 for 18, and he made a good point. Don't discount him as possibly earning his way onto the opening day roster.
Yeah, I got some speed, good defender.
Marcus Walden, 7th pitcher used by Alex Cora, the skipper of the Red Sox. Walden's been around. He's been in pro ball since 2007. Originally drafted by the Blue Jays. And there's a leadoff walk to Presley.
I like that. Presley being the leadoff hitter, taking that walk right there. Walden, hard time coming to command.
Well, Walden has been in pro ball since 07 as Ruben Tejada comes up for his first at-bat. And every appearance has been in the minor leagues. 218 minor league games for Marcus Walden. He's been in the Blue Jays system, then Oakland, Cincinnati for a few years, up to Minnesota, and now with Boston. Even played some winter ball this year in the Dominican Winter League. Could be 2. Holt to second out there. Quiroz back to first and a double play. 5-4-3 and 2 down.
Oh, that's what Walt does. Produces those ground balls. Nice job by the Red Sox infield, cleaning it up right there. Pretty routine. Take a look. Little chopper down on third baseman. Catches that high hop. Clean transfer on the second base. And there it is. 5-4-3.
Cedric Mullins' first at bat. Okay, Mike, for the record now, all 36 players have been accounted for. We now know where they bat.
That's good.
Till the next change. Cedric is just 1 for 16 in his spring appearances. Playing outstanding defense, however.
Boy, isn't he? He gets great jumps on the ball. Played every outfield position.
And he made the impressive jump from Delmarva in 2016 all the way up to Bowie last year, and he played very well. A hamstring injury early in the year slowed him down, and he's such an important prospect that the Orioles really took their time to make sure that was fully healed.
Yeah, he had a great spring last year too. Really opened some eyes.
This is sliced down the line, a long run for Selski, and a false foul.
They had a pretty impressive outfield there in Bowie with Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, DJ Stewart, who's in camp, first-round pick a few years ago.
Mullins, a switch hitter with a ton of speed. And he goes down on strike. So after the leadoff walk, the double play, and now a strikeout, we will head to the 8th. Those are Red Sox. The Bird looking for a snap. You to join us next Sunday. That is March the 11th as the O's take on the Phillies. That'll be our next Masson telecast. Coverage beginning at 6 p.m. next Sunday night. And don't forget, log on to MassonSports.com several times during the day as Rock Tabacco has you covered. News and notes from spring training all spring long. Hey, I didn't know Palmer was at the game. And there's another Hawaiian shirt. They are popular
Everywhere.
Familiar face, Brad Brock comes on.
Yeah, Brad Brock making his spring training debut. See the numbers last season where he picked up 4 wins, 318 earned run average, 70 punch outs. Also picked up the 18 saves. Opponents hitting just 208 off Brad Brock. That's some good stuff, swing and miss stuff. Brad Brock, of course, that crossbody delivery, power fastball, slider change combination.
Well, he will likely be the closer on opening day and will remain the closer unless unavailable until Zach comes back. Here's Hernandez, the catcher, and he'll take a strike. And, you know, give you an idea of the kind of person and competitor that Brad is. Hernandez doubled his first at-bat. As Mike mentioned, he had 18 saves last year, but he's still upset at the 6 blown saves. He was talking about it the other day. on the radio show Thursday night, I asked him if the experience of last year of acting as the closer will help him this year, in particular going into camp knowing that he likely would be the closer. And he said, yeah, because I went back and looked at every one of those blown saves to see what I did differently that I could have done to get out of it. So I like that. You know, you think about this game, that sharp lead at the third, and Mountcastle has it go off his glove. And it's a tough hop. It should be his second error, although that was hit hard.
That's going to come in hot down there, third base.
Oh, they're going to give him a base hit because it was hit so hard.
We'll take a look right here. Mountcastle, nice job getting ready. Ball just eats him up, though. Kicked up a little too high.
So Hernandez is on. Here's Zui Lin, second at bat. Here's a pitch for a strike.
Good pitch. I know Brad Brock last year, if he ever did get in any problems, he would admittedly say it's because he wasn't aggressive, falling behind. He likes to get first pitch strike, go to work with his plus secondary pitches.
Chops slowly. Tejada charges, tags the runner, and out at first base. Nicely done by the veteran Ruben Tejada.
Yeah, nice play right there. Tejada's played some solid defense. Probably the front runner right now, that utility spot. You see him step up into the lane, get a chopper like that, base runner running right into the ball. I mean, nice play by the veteran infielder, then the quick release to get the double play.
So Zui Lin bounces into the 4-4-3, 2 down, and here's Steve Selski. Driven a run with a sac fly in the 6th inning, an unearned run off Jason Aquino. And Mike, we were talking about the possibility of the Orioles heading north for opening day with 3 Rule 5 picks. With Pedro Orojo looking strong, and Nestor Cortez, a possibility to make the team, as well as Anthony Santander. And that would be unique. Here's the 0-2, it's fouled off. Stats Inc. helped us out. Since 1993, there have been 4 teams that have gone north for opening day with 2 Rule 5 picks, but none with 3.
None with 3. Wow. I'll tell you, Dan Duquette's been aggressive, if anything. I mean, that's kind of his trademark. Going after Rule 5 picks in the offseason and then panning out, being big-time producers.
And with 3 open spots in the bullpen, there's the possibility that Orojo looks like he's earning his way on the team regardless. He's had 3 scoreless innings in 3 spring appearances. Towards third, Mountcastle gets another chance. Plays this one cleanly and throws him out. Low throw scooped out by Pedro Alvarez. So an infield hit, none left. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Brad Brock, his first appearance of the spring, no runs.
Hi, it's Marjorie and Stephen Fun.
We're the fun.
by authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. Alvarez, powerful swing, and it's binky time as we get to the bottom of the 8th. Now that is, does that binky have an elephant? Wow. They're really coming up with some good technology now.
Come a long ways, haven't they?
I don't remember those when my kids had binkies.
Thank goodness. Gosh. Went through so many of those, losing them.
Oh, absolutely. It's like sunglasses and reading glasses. Andrew Susak, his first at-bat. He's in scope spot. Slowed by that staph infection, but now 100%. He's walked a couple of times. Still does not have an official plate appearance.
Takes an impressive batting practice, I'll tell you. Hit the ball a mile.
He's taken you deep a few times?
Well, I haven't thrown BP, but I watch him take BP.
We got something.
1-2 the count. He didn't go.
Brothers, my dad, me, my dad.
Wow, close pitch.
A little front door slider right there. That quite come back enough. I think the catcher maybe over boogied on the framing as he tried to suck it back in there an extra 3 or 4 inches.
Lined and a base hit in the left field. So Susak, his first official plate appearance after a couple of walks, and he has a single.
Good swing there, laying off a couple tough pitches. Bottom of the zone, finally gets one that he likes. It's a swing on it, a bullet past the shortstop.
Susak gets a base hit. Here's Anthony Santander, who singled his first at-bat in the 6th inning and scored on the Alvarez home run.
The outputs can't be even.
And Walden keeping him close. Walden, the 7th pitcher used by Boston. The Orioles have also used 7. Santander, 23 years old, facing Walden. Santander, because he was injured a good portion of last year, he must spend the first 44 days on the Major League roster to fulfill the Rule 5 requirements. 90 days. And then if the Orioles elected to, he could be optioned out. I'm sure that's a very likely scenario with all the time they've invested in Santander, plus the fact that he could hit. There's a bounce at first, out at second, back to first. There's a double play. Nice return with Walden getting over to cover.
A little chopper down at first base, and the first baseman really creating a nice lane. He clears himself. Sussex, take a look. He'll jump right in there, step forward. That second baseman, shortstop, a good look. Walden, good job hustling over to cover first base. That's the key. Those ground balls to first base, the ability to create that lane. easy target to the middle infielder. Help clean up that double play.
Pedro Alvarez, his second at bat. He's in Adam Jones' spot in the lineup, the cleanup position, and this position has been perfect today. Adam went 3 for 3 with a couple of RBI doubles and a run scored, and Pedro with a 2-run home run in his first at bat in the 6th. $18 runs on 25 hits combined in this game.
One thing that's kind of standing out for me is the few amount of strikeouts the Orioles have had today.
Yeah.
So some quality at bats, really seeing a lot of pitches, taking some walks. Hit behind runners, went the other way to beat the shift. A lot of good things, I think, for the Oriole offense. Things to build on for sure.
1-2 on that called strike.
Pedro took a high fastball about 400 feet right field, so keeping the ball down on him, making sure they keep it down in the zone.
Boston will open at Tampa Bay on March 29th, so they'll stay in Florida for their first series. Teams in the AL East actually like that because they all train here in Florida. And all you got to do is bus over to St. Petersburg and you get 3 games out of the way in one of your road series, and all you have to do is drive there.
Yeah, limited travel.
And Toronto will open at home against the Yankees, so the Orioles are the one team not opening within the division. The Orioles open at home against Minnesota. Full count, 3-2 on Pedro. Yep, the breeze is blowing. And usually as March goes on, it's consistent. First few games there wasn't much breeze at all. Ball 4, cut the plate in half below, so there's a good at-bat by Alvarez. Patient, looking it over, and he draws a 2-out walk.
Absolutely, not very easy to do either. End of a ball game, put together a quality AB.
Ryan Mountcastle, his second at-bat, he lined out to second base in the 6th inning.
Quite a pickup right there by the catcher Hernandez. Backhand stab and then up looking to throw.
Mountcastle's had a good spring at the plate. Beginning his 4th pro season, he's just 21 years old. Orioles first round pick back in 2015. And last year made it all the way up to Double-A. He also won the Carolina League batting title last year, even though he spent half the year at Bowie. He had enough plate appearances to qualify. His .314 held on.
How about that? Mountcastle winning a batting title. Chance Cisco won a batting title a few years ago in Delmarva.
Trey Mancini at Bowie.
Right. Some offensive prospects definitely in this Oriole organization.
One gets away from Hernandez. Alvarez will try to advance, and he succeeds. The wild pitch puts a runner in scoring position with 2 down.
Take a look. Ball spiked a little bit. This kicks away. Hesitation by Alvarez, but fortunately, ball rolls away just enough for Pedro to get in there uncontested.
Alex Cora now in charge of the Red Sox. And he got him. Ball was trapped and the play made the first, so that will end the inning. A single, a walk, 1 left. We head to the 9th. Birds on top. The beach. I'm sure a lot of players will be there tomorrow on their day off. Orioles with a 10-8 lead as we go to the 9th, and Brad Brock nice enough to join us. So you finally got into a game. What have you been doing down here?
Yeah, just taking it a little bit slower. You know, no reason to rush. It's hard. You want to get out there, you want to pitch, but at the same time, I mean, today's only March 5th, I think. So still got 3 or 4 weeks left to get enough appearances in and just be ready to go when the season starts.
Well, this is somewhat different for you, right? Where you know you're on the team and you could go at whatever pace you and Roger McDowell decide.
Yeah, exactly. And we're trying to avoid AL East teams as best as possible, I think, right now, just because, you know, if you're going to face these guys 6, 7, 8 times a year, you don't want to show everything you got in spring training or something that you're working on. So it's kind of nice to just be able to come down here and work on stuff you're trying to work on in the winter, not really have to worry about results too much.
And how long does it typically take you, Brad?
Yeah, you know, after the first like 3 or 4 outings, you kind of feel game ready. You just don't want to let it all, you know, you don't want to let it eat in game 5 when you're ready to go. It's kind of, you want to save your bullets for the season. And for me, it's about 3 or 4 outings in, and I really feel like I'm ready to go and have command of all the pitches. But it's always nice to get a couple more outings that don't really count.
So with this extra time, though, do you feel like you're able to kind of condition yourself a little bit more, or what else? What have you done differently in this time not throwing?
You know, just kind of strengthen some of my hips. I think I got away from this. I know it sounds weird, but this offseason, I think I did some things lifting that weren't exactly technique right. So I think I've just been working with, you know, Paul Cater and the trainer just to kind of work on my hip strength and kind of get that a little bit more loose. I was getting a little bit tight there and just kind of working on that the last couple weeks also.
Well, haven't you been doing, you know, aerobics and stretching with your new beautiful baby daughter?
Yeah, I've been doing plenty of that. That's always fun. This is a little bit more on the work side, but yeah, getting enough to do a bunch of that. I'm really enjoying that, and that's definitely one of the things I've been enjoying this spring also.
I asked you this the other night on the radio show, but I want to ask you again for our TV audience. What did the experience of closing last year do for this spring, and how will that help you going into the season as it looks like you will be the closer until Zach gets back?
Yeah, it's a confidence booster. I think anytime you get a chance to close in the major leagues, and have success. I mean, like I said, I didn't have as much success as I wanted to, but the goal is to go out there and just be the best I can when I get the ball in the ninth. And I learned some valuable lessons last year, kind of not really learning them, but reteaching myself. Every year I feel like I have to reteach myself a few lessons that I've learned in the past. And I think that's what I did with those few blown saves I got, and it only can make me better. The way I look at it is I feel like that's as bad as I could do in the closer job, and I still don't think I did that bad of a job, so I'm ready to go this year.
Steven, I think that's very telling about you, that you're focusing on where you failed so you can get better and improve even more.
Yeah, definitely, because I think you can learn more from failure than you can success. That's me personally. I think, especially when you're out there in the ninth inning, it's a little bit different of a ball game. And, when, like last year, for example, when Starling Castro hit the home run off me in New York to tie the game in the ninth, I don't want to get beat most of the time when pitches are in. So it's kind of one of those things where, it's kind of hammering myself back in the head that, you can't do that. You can't go at a guy first pitch and try to throw it inside like that, because that's what they're looking for, especially in a game that's tight like that.
It's got to be a different experience for you as well. You look around and you're one of the veterans out there in that bullpen. I mean, I'm sure the guys coming to you and saying, hey, how about some advice in watching your work ethic?
Yeah, it's definitely a role that I haven't had to play yet, but I'm glad to do it. I feel like in my baseball journey so far, I've gotten to do a little bit of everything. I've had success, I've had failures, I've been traded, I've been DFA'd, I've been in a couple of different organizations, been in the American and National League, and it's crazy how it all happened so fast. It's been, I think, my 7th or 8th season, but it goes by so fast, and I hope that maybe something I say to the younger guys can kind of stick with them, because, like I said, I got drafted really late, too, so it's kind of one of those things where, they can maybe look at me and use a little bit of his motivation.
All right, and the other night at Nashville's Music Row, when your lovely bride, Janae, performed, you had your daughter, Briley, looking straight at the stage. Now, that was the initial, here's your mom singing. Now, what were the reviews from your new daughter?
Yeah, she liked it. It's funny because since the other day, she's gotten to this just screaming, and she's really loves hearing her voice right now. So she's letting us know where she is, and I feel like she went from being a newborn to a toddler overnight, because she found her voice, and she's just around the house the last few days just kind of screaming. So I think she really liked the performance.
All right, now Bordy and I have been through this. I want to know, how many of those middle of the night bottle feedings do you do?
Not too many. Janae's been really good with those. In the off season, I would wake up early in the morning and do it, like around 6:30, and take that first one to let her get a couple extra hours, and she would kind of take the midnight 2 a.m. feeding. So it was kind of a nice trade-off.
All right. Well, congratulations on the birth of your beautiful daughter, and great to see you back in the game, Brad. We appreciate the visit.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Brad Brock, one of the good guys on the team, and you remember those middle of the night feedings, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know Brad's got to catching up on sleep the rest of his life.
This is Barfield at the plate. Tanner Scott on the mound. That ball's going to find its way back in the crowd. And up against the new netting. And Tanner Scott, one of the Orioles' pitching prospects, with the blazing fastball.
Yeah, he's looked good this spring. There's always, at least coming up, the concern of command for Tanner Scott. He has an above-average arm. He's rushing the fastball in there, high 90s. Consistently. He's starting to command his slider a little bit better, and he just blows guys away when he's around the plate.
23 years old. Orioles drafted him in 2014. Last year, the Orioles had a very unique way of getting him more innings. He started 24 games, but he would pitch 3 innings and come out of the game. And they felt that was a good way to maybe get a better feel for the pitches and improve his command.
Yeah, and I think it worked. I think it worked for Tanner Scott last year, and then now I think they're going to challenge him a little bit more and see if he can pitch, back-to-back days, kind of mix things up a little bit, see how he responds. Is he going to be better suited as a bullpen piece, or are they going to keep trying to extend him, maybe teach him a pitch or two, see if he can be a starter? I think ideally he's going to be a bullpen guy.
Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Barfield thought he had ball 4, and he's rung up by Will Little. So back-to-back Ks after the double and 2 men down.
A backdoor slider here. Barfield gave up on it. Home plate umpire didn't. Rang him up. At that back corner.
Get that strikeout to Susak. Watch this presentation. Pulled it back in.
Just a little bit. Subtle little move there.
A little bit. Here's Chad De La Gura, sac fly and an RBI, his only plate appearance. Straight back. Orioles fell behind 6-0 by the second inning in this game and now have a 10-8 lead. Each team has 13 base hits.
Yeah, a lot of positives to take away from this ball game. The fact that they just kept kind of pecking away. No quality at bats. Beckham hit a bomb. A lot of doubles hit. A pretty good day.
Popped up. This should do it. Mountcastle back. Sardinhas back. Sardinhas calls. And the shortstop has it for the final out. And the Orioles win it by that final of 10-8. So Tanner Scott, a good job there. He works around that leadoff double. And the Red Sox do not score. Final score here in Sarasota. Orioles and Red Sox get together. Baltimore wins it 10-8.